You're watching the Sunoco Minor League Cricket Championship, brought to you by our 2023 partners.
(2023) Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship presented by Sunoco. That was a short stay, it seems. The San Diego Surf Riders are taking on the Seattle Thunderbolts. The Surf Riders in search of their first win. And it's not a good start for them with a bat in hand as Keynes got a walk back. I'm Suhas Vedam, joined by JD. JD, warm welcome to the Combox.
Thank you so much, Suhas, and welcome yourself back to San Diego. And I can, I speak for a lot of the cricket watchers of the minor league. We're all glad that you're back with us in the commentary box.
Pleasure, pleasure. Well, one person who's not glad to be back in the hut is Kane. He's still trudging as he's playing that 100 times in his mind as he's walking back. What a good start for Shiva. It's something that you dream about as a fast bowler, isn't it?
Absolutely. Getting the price wicket of Marty Kane, and you can see just utter disappointment in Marty's face. You know, so I didn't quite catch the ball, but it seems like it stayed low, Suhas.
I think it bounced all right because it hit the top of off, but I thought there's a bit of skid here for Shiva, which he will not complain about.
Yeah, having played through the season on these pitches in San Diego, the ball skids through. That's the nature of these pitches. The ball doesn't hold. There isn't a lot of grip on the surface. So let's see if that's what holds true as the day progresses.
It's one of the things that we love about the minor league cricket championship itself, isn't it? It's just that as a batter, you can't expect paradises to bat on. You have to adjust every time you travel in this country.
That's the name of the game, Suhas. It's all about adaptability, right? Every pitch you play on is going to be different. You know, there's a little bit of dew that might affect the surface. It might be dry, you know.
We'll let it go. And the umpire will exercise his arms. It's a beautiful afternoon for him to do that. Ian is not complaining either. He's collecting it cleanly. Good. Well, what do you make of this surface already? This lovely carry, bit of skid. Batting's not going to be an easy task here. You've got to apply yourself as a batter. As someone who's been doing that just about an hour's drive away from here, tell us a little bit about this surface.
Good ball by Shiva. Yeah, just talking about the surface, you know, the first 3 or 4 balls have actually surprised me a little bit. Like I said earlier, throughout the season, these pitches that we've been playing on, the ball's been skidding through. It stayed a touch low, but so far, again, very, very early to call or predict the nature of this pitch, but so far it's been playing okay.
Excellent. Ian's wondering why isn't a 4th stump allowed in our game. Shiva wasting no time to get into rhythm.
Yeah, he seems to be getting a lot of movement, a lot of deviation off the surface. Shiva's a good bowler. Remember, he played for the USA, when was it, last year? So he's got a lot of experience. He's played first-class cricket in India.
Bat to ball. First run off the bat for Goravara.
Yes, the ball seaming in this time. He's been beating the bat consistently and then trying to surprise the batsman with a ball that that seams in. But well dealt with by Adit.
The fact that it's moving a little late is what is troubling the batter even more. And Greg Hay, who was the non-striker's end for a while, will find out for himself now. It's good to see
let's
that
see how the class
there.
of Greg Hay deals with this quality bowling.
He's someone whom you've called a teammate. He's someone whom people have gone for mentorship as well. Can the Kiwi make a difference today? His team needs him desperately. They need to put a first win on, and the first win can change many things in a franchise game. The first run has come by. Soft hands from Greg Hay. Oh, what an over it's been from Shiva. 3 of it and a wicket.
Yeah, that always feels good, doesn't it? Just bat on ball, just get that run, get that first run out of the way. And a class individual, quality individual that Greg Hay is, that's going to make a ton of a difference. Great first over there by Shiva. Again, getting a quick wicket of Marty Kane, one of the more important batsmen of the San Diego Surf Riders. And then the captain himself, Shadley Van Skalvik, coming into the attack to bowl the second over.
And what a scorecard he's inherited. Couldn't have asked for anything better from Shiva. He's picked up one of the key wickets of San Diego Surf Riders. He's ensured that the Kiwi combo doesn't stay there for long. Now, will this wicket change as the game progresses is another question altogether, because when you win the toss and choose to bowl first, you aren't expecting that to happen much.
Yes, I'm curious about that myself. We haven't played a lot of cricket on that pitch, the one on the extreme right. So I'm curious how that pitch is going to hold up as the innings progresses.
There aren't many strips on this ground. I thought you would have played on every single one of them. It's good to see that some of them are still an enigma.
Yes, we've practiced on those on every single pitch, but we haven't played a lot of matches.
Oh, well, not from where he intended. Still will take a couple. Still a lot for the bowlers here. You could see him suggest that there's something happening after pitching. You can't pick the initial line and hit through. And has Shadley noticed that too? Just one slip for Shadley. Is that the way to go ahead then? Soft hands. Greg Hay, in the couple of deliveries that he's faced so far, has offered soft hands.
Absolutely, especially early on in the innings, that's the way to go. You don't want to force and prod and push too much on wickets like these. And remember, we haven't played a lot of cricket on this pitch, this specific pitch. So it's important that the batsman gets an understanding of the nature of the pitch, the bounce, the carry, not commit too early. That's exactly what Greg Hay is doing there, playing with soft hands, playing late. And Shadley's hit a good length the first couple of balls. So it's important that you don't drive extravagantly, because that might introduce, you know, playing in the air. So again, Greg Hay is someone who's very adept at playing on these pitches. I remember last year, Suhas, you were there as well. You saw Greg Hay score 160 runs. I don't remember, a century and 50 runs against the East Bay Blazers in one weekend. That was a phenomenal weekend for Hazy.
Yeah, everybody who landed in San Diego just forgot how to bowl to Greg Hay. He had an answer to every single delivery, especially on the leg side. Bit of bat bounce, and the single will be complete. Greg Hay was phenomenal. He was the one man who was holding the fort, to be very honest. There were other batters who were trying to bat around him. Wickets were falling at regular intervals, but Greg Hay continued. And towards the end, almost won them that game too. Every time I come to this particular ground, the Canyonside Park, it's good to refresh memories of some of the games that were absolute nail-biters. Very well bowled. Straight to DP. No damage done. I think that's the channel as well. Make Greg Hay, since he's playing with soft hands, make him go outside his comfort zone, stretch a little bit more by pulling the length back.
Yes, and from the San Diego Surf Riders' perspective, they would hope that Hazy repeats what he did last year.
Yes.
They would hope for another special weekend from Greg.
This is going to trickle away for 4. Not quite sure if Greg's going to enjoy that. But the result is something that he will savor.
We'll take it however it comes, is what he must be saying to himself, as well as the team in the dugout. Like you pointed out, the Surf Riders are desperately hoping for a first win. Ooh, another inside edge. Twice he's done that, Shadley. So seems like he's getting the ball to seam in quite consistently.
All ones on the board. Shadley would be telling himself that the batters are yet to get one shot away, which they can call their own. Shiva. No prizes for guessing. He's got to continue. He's in good rhythm. He's asking the right questions. And it looks like as the game's progressing, the slip is going far away. The keeper standing further back. Very well negotiated. Just opening the face of the bat at the last moment as well.
Yes, he pulled back his length this time. He's been a touch fuller, Shiva, and which has allowed him to swing the ball a little bit in the air. But seems like he's decided to pull the back length. He's listening to you, Suhas.
Just love the bounce on this wicket as well. I just feel that it's a matter of time before the batters can go after the bowling. Beautifully played. It's going to crackle the boundary rolls, but I'm wondering why Greg Hay didn't unleash the shot earlier. It's something that he plays so beautifully. He's just waited for the right time, perhaps. Clearly, 2 men are not enough on the offside.
Yes, Suhas, such an exquisite shot, isn't it? This is the class of the man. Look at that. Just waits for the ball to hit the bat, places it perfectly between the fielders, and he gets a boundary.
For someone who got an underedge to show, this is a great result. Great comeback too. It's going to yield a single eventually as it wasn't collected cleanly. But what a good comeback from Shiva. That's the intensity that we're talking about. Doesn't want to leak any runs. Understood that the previous shot belonged to the batter. He was on top of the bowler. Not this time round. Good comeback.
Absolutely. Getting the Yorker right, especially with the new ball, isn't very easy. So great comeback delivery by Shiva.
Yeah, a little bit behind you.
Unfortunately for Goravra, that area is plugged.
Yeah, as a new ball bowler, that's where you want it, right? You want to keep the ball there, right there at the channel. Not too full, not too short, Right there, good length. Don't let the batsman commit to the front foot. Don't make driving easy. He would hope that he would keep the rest of the deliveries there.
Love the carry. Goravra was prodding front. Just kept on prodding. Shiva's decided to ball in the corridor of uncertainty. I think he's telling all the other bowlers there's a reason why they call it the corridor of uncertainty.
You know, Suhas, what Shiva's done really well, he's actually mixed up his lengths really well. So he hasn't been very predictable, right? He's bowled a touch fuller when it needs to be. He's pulled his length back. He's bowled a Yorker, beaten the bat inside, outside. Another good delivery to follow that one.
One poor delivery put away for 4. Otherwise, singles on either side of that delivery. Nothing thereafter. 17 for 1.
What's up, Doug? What got into you?
At Sunoco, we know how to fuel peak performance. Fuel your best.
Shadow from one end, Shiva from the other. Relentless pace bowling continues.
Yeah, no respite for the batsmen, seems like. Both quality operators, Shadley and Shiva. Good to have these two guys open the bowling for you, huh? And remember, Seattle have been the champions. They are the defending champions.
Every time they wear that pink jersey, they remind themselves of that. Yes, their core is missing. Remember, last year the core was different. Shadow's going to rally the troops and produce magic once again.
So, is that why you're wearing the pink jersey?
Trust me, I didn't put any mind to it. I just picked it up, wore it today.
Those who can't see him, actually he's not wearing a pink jersey, he's wearing a pink shirt. But everyone here, all the Surf Riders supporters, are complaining that he is a closet Seattle supporter.
Really good delivery once again. Half an over done and dusted with. Shadley hasn't given away anything whatsoever. But that's the beauty of Greg Hay as well. He doesn't get phased by these dot deliveries. He'll come on his own, do a bit of gardening, go back and wait for the right delivery to put away.
You need that, like I said. On this pitch, that's what you need. You need good temperament. You need patience to wait for that bad delivery.
Big appeal. And it'll die down on its own because of the bounce factor. We are learning that this surface can speak new languages. This is unlike what I've seen in San Diego.
Absolutely. Like I said, this pitch is surprising me even now. I want to see that again. Yes, that did not get the bat. It actually hit the back pad or thigh pad, perhaps. And that's why it didn't quite carry to the slip fielder there, the lone slip fielder waiting for anything to grab.
What a good delivery from Shadow. Not in control, but just over the fielder at point. Will pick up 2 runs. And while he's running the second, he's also thinking about that shot. Inches away from the fielder's fingers.
Yes, beautiful delivery by Shadley. And if you've noticed, Suhas, he's been consistently seaming the ball in to all the batsmen. You know, getting a couple of inside edges, beating the inside half of, Greg Hay's bat. And this time what he did very smartly was pull the length back a little bit, slow it down, and keep it away from Greg, which induced that false shot.
Excellent analysis. Now, I've got to ask you, why is the slip fading away? He's strengthened the leg side more.
Probably deciding to bowl more cutters. Perhaps looking at the response from the pitch.
That was perfect. It's not easy to bowl the last ball as a bouncer, especially when the batter knows that there's one allowed in every over. This might be it. Excellently done by Shadley. 4 overs gone, 19 for 1.
वक्त आ गया है लक्ष्मी बासमती राइस को घर लाने का। लक्ष्मी एक्स्ट्रा लॉन्ग बासमती राइस। इसका हर दाना हो इतना लंबा, पकते हुए महके और प्लेट पे क्या खूब खिले। हाँ, मेरे घर लाने का।
Much better from Adit. A quick single on the leg side. I recently went to Hong Kong when I met Adit's coaches, and believe me, any export from Hong Kong, the coaches still keep a keen eye on those boys. Be it Shell, we saw in Chicago, Adit here in San Diego. And I just get a feeling that there's plenty more to come in the years.
Yes, Adit's been a great addition to the Surfriders squad. Very promising youngster. A lot of energy. Great behind the wickets as well. He's the wicket keeper, remember?
Oh, yes.
And he's been one that's looked very good over the past 4 matches.
And this one decided not to bounce. Greg Hay is looking at the surface in disbelief. But Ian was able to collect this one too.
I'll be very interested to see if that was a change-up delivery. Did he perhaps see Greg Hay come down the track and run his fingers over the seam?
Might be. Shiva hasn't bowled a single slower delivery. Remember that he's good with cutters. You were absolutely right. The keeper's also come up now. He doesn't want Greg Hay to dance down the track. And JD, it seems to work. It's a runner ball 15 for Greg Hay, which got a couple of flamboyant shots for boundaries. But what we've seen with Greg Hay over the years, especially when he's plied his trade in San Diego, is that he's always dealt with a fragile batting lineup. Hence, he had to take his time and bat through the innings or build an innings per se, and not be the flamboyant opener that other teams had. A little different a setting, a different a mindset. Has that changed this year?
No, I think that's exactly what the Surfriders need again. They need Greg to do the same, play the same kind of role again. Remember, the Surfriders, again, chasing the first win.
Yeah.
The batting's been the issue so far this season, if you ask my opinion. And it's important that the captain, Greg Hay, leads from the front, takes his time. And again, every batsman's slightly different. This is Greg Hay's template, right? You see Rohit Sharma, how well he plays his ODI innings and how well he constructs them. Right, not every batsman is going to be an Adam Gilchrist or a Rishabh Pant that is explosive from ball 1. And this is what, gives Greg Hay success. And he does the same thing. Remember, Greg Hay is the captain of his first-class side in New Zealand. So he has a lot of 4-day, 5-day, game experience. He should use that experience of playing on tough pitches, playing the longer format, and apply that in the T20 format, especially when the team needs it.
Very well summed up, JD, because that's what he's done. Beautiful shot. This one's going to crattle the ropes again. Greg Hay leans into this. Shiva's realizing that he might have cut down on pace, but if it's still there to be driven, Greg Hay will not think twice.
And this is what playing the longer format does to you, right, Suhas? It gives you technique. That was a classical cover drive. Just look at that. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
And this is what Greg Hay is known for, just that the shirt color changes. He leans into those drives. 24 for 1 after 5. San Diego Surfriders, they've got to move on. They were 17 for 1 after 3 overs. Just a couple of runs from Shadley's over the next one. Shiva's given away 5, and this is where Greg Hay would believe he's getting a move on. And when Greg Hay is batting well as well, it just tells you that Adit is going to feel at ease too. He scored 4 of 9, and he's always been in search of singles around the 30-yard circle region. I get a feeling when the senior pro is batting well, it augurs well for the youngster too.
Absolutely, Suhas. And even if the pitch is tough, what's important is to look for those singles, to really stay busy, to not stay on strike for too long. Make sure you keep rotating strike so that the bowler doesn't bowl to the same batsman again and again. It's easy to plan as a bowler.
Rahul Nama. He was terrific against the Silicon Valley strikers. He wants to replicate those figures once again. Picked up 3 wickets. He's a very unassuming cricketer, but when he has the ball in hand, boy can he spin a web around the batters. It's good to see that the captain's trusting him with a slip in place immediately, JD. Adit is swearing by the denomination of a single. Greg Hayes, the one's going to produce the bigger shots.
Yes, Rahul Nama isn't someone I've seen a lot, and that's what you expect from the minor league. The minor league is a platform for young cricketers, newer domestic cricketers like Rahul, to come out here, make a name for themselves, perform at this level, grow as cricketers. Such a great platform is minor league. And Suhas, this is your 2nd year in minor league cricket.
Yes?
How's it been? How's your experience been? Just covering so many games, looking at all these different cricketers, young, old, across the Pacific coast, the Atlantic coast. How's your experience been so far?
Oh, it's been absolutely brilliant, and I realize that, as you mentioned, adaptability is one word that you need to carry in your kit bag every time you play the sport in the USA. Launching into the swivel a little early. Good change of pace by Rahul Nama. Just a single given away so far. What I've absolutely loved about covering cricket, especially in the West Coast, is that the teams are growing from strength to strength with every game they play. There's a lot of improvement within the franchise with every game they play. That overall elevates the level of cricket that you play as well. And by the time they play the other franchises from other regions in the country, you're seeing a different team from what we saw the first time.
Yes, couldn't agree more with you, Suhas. As we see Rahul bowling very, very smartly.
Beautiful shot. That's Adit's first. That's going to yield him a lot of confidence, especially when you get glove love from Greg Hay for playing a shot that he plays too.
Great use of his wrists there from Adit. He's a very wristy player, if you notice. With his cover drives, with his flicks. Look at that, very Kohli-esque.
Gorgeous shot indeed. Rahul Nama was bowling so very well, but the curse for the bowlers continue. The last delivery has gone for 4 once again. 30 for 1 after 6.
How did a global retail pharmacy increase orders by 100%? How did a multinational bank build a #1 rated digital app? With people who help leading companies transform through technology. Engineer a better future. Discover how at ust.com.
Spin from one side, pace from the other. Young Posanapalli, who's learning with every game that he plays too. The keeper's gone back, and a slip has been awarded. One thing that Shadley has done for every bowler introduced, that he has kept slip as default setting.
That's good to see. You want that from a captain. You want the captain to give that kind of confidence to the bowler. Send a message not just to the opposing team and the batters, but also to the bowler. He says, I trust you. You are my attacking bowler. You're going to give me a wicket. Will he?
Good rhythm. Line a little off. Starts off with a wide.
Great carry there, Suhas. Again, this end, the ball seems to be carrying quite significantly. Again, this pitch has surprised me so far, and I'm sure it will as the inning progresses.
That's better. And Craig Hay just showing discipline, doesn't want to tackle it. The partnership has prospered a little bit here. And San Diego Surf Riders have decided to not attack anything that's not in their zone. First it was Adit who was patient enough to wait for the one that comes back in. Now it's Craig Hay.
And good pace here by the youngster. It's a quick bowler. Remember, he's played for the USA under-19 team.
Hits the line once again. Started off with a wide. One good delivery in between. He's gone back to the wide. The idea is to keep it away from Greg Hay, but that tram line is something that he needs to be very wary of. Posanapalli is producing pace. Don't mind that, Rohan. He's in good rhythm. The line is evading him. Change in field. Slip has been removed. A backward point in place, apart from a point. And Greg will beautifully cream it through covers. A couple more added to the tally. The grass has been a little up and down in that region.
Greg's going to enjoy this. He loves the ball coming onto the bat. This extra pace from Rohan is something that Greg's going to appreciate. And so as you see the field, this is the line that that Rohan's going for. You see a deep point, you see a third man, a deep gully, a point. So it's obvious what line of attack is going to look like.
Very well anticipated by Jagrup Raina. Backward point, it's a little difficult position to field as well because the angle is something you need to get used to. For someone who's fielded all his life at mid-wicket, suddenly you put him there. It's not something that's going to come easy. And the ball always, almost always comes with a torque. So you got to be wary of which way it's going to turn.
It's normally the best fielder in the team that gets positioned at backward point, isn't it?
So true.
You've seen Jonty Rhodes, we've seen Herschel Gibbs, we've seen Ricky Ponting sometimes occupy that position. So it's almost a matter of pride for a fielder to field at that backward point position.
Yeah, you got to be athletic at the same time. You got to be anticipating the ball, every ball that you play. Interestingly, just a couple of days ago, I was asking Suresh Raina why did he prefer to field in positions which were closer to the batter, and he also revealed that he always wanted to take a start because he wanted to cut down on the angle and create a better opportunity of taking the ball while it was on the up. And fielder at point can do that. Good effort from Rohan. It's going to pinch a little bit. Still the singles complete. I don't know what will pinch him more.
Yeah, a bit of confusion there, a bit of hesitation, especially from Greg. He must still be remembering his last dismissal, which is again Adit and confusion. Doesn't want to get run out again. But he has such a good point about being close in and being able to cut down the angles. And speaking of Suresh Raina, how was your experience covering the T10 games?
Oh, it was good fun indeed. I mean, to be around people that you call legends, but some of them are making their debut. To see their willingness to learn and adapt to a new format is just marvelous. Those were the few takeaways for me, apart from the flamboyance that we saw with the bat in hand when Jack Callis was there, or Jesse Ryder was hitting it to all parts of the ground.
Yeah, how amazing was it to see the 47-year-old Jack Callis, one of the greatest cricketers ever, playing the T10 format and adapt to it, scoring 2 or 3 half centuries at above 200 strike rate. Incredible. He's one of my heroes growing up. I used to imitate his action, try and bat like him, bowl like him. Such a privilege to see him in the United States playing T10 cricket.
It's worked out pretty well, by the way. You're batting well, you're bowling well. Just check the scorecards at Woodley. 7 overs, 37 for 1. Now, Jaideep, how do you read this particular situation? Adit, 10 of 13. Greg Hay is going to be the aggressor from now on. The spinner's bowled a good over, but he's been persisted with by the captain because he believes this can be a wicket-taking over. And for the first time, no slip in place.
Yes, this is a tricky period in T20 cricket. You don't want to get carried away and be ultra aggressive, but also it's important to keep the scoreboard ticking, make sure you build a proper foundation so the batsman following can capitalize and put together a competitive score. Again, remember, batting has been a problem for Surf Riders, so they don't want to get too aggressive and lose a lot of wickets in clusters. They're trying to be circumspect, but it's important to get a move on as well. Very, very tricky indeed for these batsmen.
Wasting no time to rotate the strike there. Greg Hay, the very experienced Greg. Now to the green Adit. Remember, Rahul's not under extreme pressure either because Rohan Posanapalli has just bowled a good over. Couple of wides, yes, but 5 runs after that. So 7 overall. Is Adit wanting the second? Greg has responded. Slightly uppish a throw, but the finger's gone up. Adit cannot believe it. He's rubbing his eyes just to check if it's replay of what happened in the last game. Same partner, and the 22 yards looked like 100. Did put in the dive, couldn't do much more. Greg Hay always wanted the second run.
Oh, that was a very tight call, if you ask me, Suhas. I'd love to see a replay of that. He put in the dive. That looked quite safe.
This is fabulous. Adit cannot believe it. As someone who got a start and he believed that he can cover up to the deliveries consumed, he can cover up. Not this time. He was way inside his crease, but he ran the first one hard. He believed there is a second in it too. It's not the best of throws, remember that. DP throwing it a little high, but Ian was able to collect it cleanly and whip the bails off, and looks like he's done that just in time despite that dive. Adit does not make it. Walks back for 10, 38 for 2.
We see Narsingh Deonarayan take his guard. Another experienced professional cricketer has played for the West Indies. Test cricket, one-day cricket as well. Lot of experience. And that's exactly what the Surf Riders need. Both these experienced professional cricketers come in and do the job for the team.
Absolutely right, JD. And not just that, Narsingh Deonarayan off late has played a lot of cricket in this region of the world. No time wasted. On the back foot he rocks. Single taken.
Yes, Rahul's not turning the ball as much as I thought he would. But what he's done really well is a good change of pace. He's been changing the pace.
That's another very good delivery. And look how quickly he goes through the overs as well. And that's exactly why you're a better friend of the captain.
Yes, a great matchup against Greg Hay from the Seattle perspective. Keeping it nice and tight, not giving a lot of pace. No room to free Greg's arms there.
Just followed. He knows there wasn't a point in appealing, but just follows the batter there. Good change up by Rahul once again. 2 runs and a wicket in this over, or maybe 3. 40 for 2.
Took that last corner pretty quick.
Sir, I need one hand on the roof, one hand on the pump.
Timeout for Sunoco Go Rewards.
Keep pumping.
With new Sunoco Go Rewards, when you fuel, you save, because rewards come first.
It's time for spin. It's time for more spin. Mehdi Hassan. Seattle Thunderbolts, they've looked towards India when it comes to spin. They look towards southern part of India when it comes to spin. First it was Rahul Nama, who's played a lot of cricket in South India, and now Mehdi Hassan, who's a proven commodity in Hyderabad.
Well, this version of Mehdi Hassan seems to be a left-arm spinner. I just saw 2 Mehdi Hassans, both off-spinners, play for Bangladesh yesterday in the Asia Cup.
Known for his accuracy, Mehdi Hassan. Gautam Gambhir, Mahendra Singh Dhoni. He's got a wicket list to boast of. Held his position beautifully, and off late he's also been giving motivational talks to youngsters, young cricketers. Oh, this one's gone through. Mehdi hasn't solved the puzzle of how it did, but it's gone for 4. San Diego Surf Riders are finding ways to get the boundary, the odd boundary.
If you can't find gaps between fielders, find the gap between the keeper's legs.
Mehdi cannot complain much because Ian's done everything possible. One thing that can be very frustrating, especially for a spinner when he knows that in this format the batters will come after you, is that when something like this happens, you just realize that it's going to play a huge part in the overall figures as well, because you get 4 overs to prove yourself. And if even 1 over goes badly, 2 overs go badly in this format, 50% not in your control.
Yeah, it's so challenging for a bowler. Well, for any cricketer in this format, right? You don't get an option to come back sometimes. It's going to be very hard as a bowler if your first over is not the best, and sometimes you don't even get the second or third over to make a comeback. But you got to take that as a cricketer, and if you're playing for the team. And you would hope that other bowlers are doing the job. As we see Mandy bowl another tight delivery, not giving a lot of room. Very similar to Rahul, who's bowling from the other end.
And both these bowlers seem to take a little bit of time to get set, but after that the ball is hardly leaving the 30-yard circle. So the over completes itself quickly. Good change in pace. This could be a risky run as well, but the single's complete. Rohan decided to go for the keeper's end, and Greg was grounding his bat. 9 overs gone. 47 for 2.
लक्ष्मी बासमती राइस को घर लाने का। लक्ष्मी एक्स्ट्रा लॉन्ग बासमती राइस। इसका हर दाना हो इतना लंबा, पकते हुए महके और प्लेट पे क्या खूब खिले। हाँ, मेरे घर लाने का।
Nine overs, 47 for 2. Harsh Thakur starts off with a wide. The umpires for today, Praveen and Piyush. Narsingh Narayan, 3 of 6, and that'll change very quickly with one shot. Lucky. Very lucky to still be there. Narsingh Narayan was in the line of fire twice in 2 seconds.
It seems like Narsingh's decided to be a little more aggressive of the two batters. And the Surf Riders need that. They need to get a move on. And it's important that the newer batsman takes the aggressive route.
Very well done. Harsh Thakur deliberately pulling his length back because Greg Hay had put on his dancing shoes. This is a very important phase of this game. 50s come up for the San Diego Surf Riders very quietly. This is a very important phase of the game because now the game... Very good delivery once again. Now the game can change quite drastically. The wind is picking up. The sun is not there to be seen. It's been a while. This game started completely in different situations. The surface can behave differently too from now on. Wickets in hand for San Diego Surf Riders. They'll be banking on that. What's a good total?
Yeah, it's very tricky to say. Not quite sure what a good score on this surface is. This is the first match that we're playing on this pitch this weekend. So I think this match will define what the scores are going to look like over the weekend.
Because of the unknown, do you think that's why you win the toss and choose to bowl first, perhaps?
Absolutely. If you don't know how the pitch is going to behave, it always gives you a little bit more of a leeway if you bowl first. You get a better understanding of the pitch. Always make a comeback after a couple of bad overs, perhaps. But as a batting unit, it can go wrong very quickly.
Wants that single, but it doesn't exist. Harsh Thakur did not hurry towards the ball because he knew that single was just not possible. What a way to end the over. Sending a quiet statement at the halfway stage, the Surf Riders 52 for 2.
And Harsh has begun really well. He's a young cricketer from Canada. He's mixed up his pace. He's got a lot of drift on the ball.
52 for 2 at the end of 10. Harsh Thakur's bowled an excellent over. Hassan, 3 off the bat that was last time. This is a good shot, and this area, what a stop from Jagrup Rana. You put him at backward point, you put him in the deep somewhere, he'll give you his 100%, using every inch of his body to get there in time, never delaying the dive.
Suhas, now he's showing us why he was fielding at backward point. Seems to be the best fielder of the team. What an incredible save that was. Brilliant.
Now Jagrup towards his left cannot get there. It'll be very difficult. This is going to be for Greg Hayes. Threaded the ball through that region for the second time and succeeded.
Yes, rank long hop. This is what Greg Hayes waiting for. Just waits for these loose deliveries. And boundary is something that the Surf Riders desperately need.
Slight adjustments made to the field, not by the bowler, but by the keeper who understands the angles better because he's the closest to the batter. Greg Hayes shown prowess of being on the front foot, being on the back foot. Where do you bowl to him? Dancing down the track. Very late to do that as well against Mehdi Hassan. This is a battle within a battle. The wind is picking up now. Are you tempted as shadow somewhere? Are you tempted? Let's bring on the swing bowlers. Ooh, that was a close call. That was a very close call. Greg Hay will thank his stars. Mehdi Hassan almost had the last laugh.
Just almost kissed the bails there. Yeah, the spinners have done reasonably well, Suhas. And there's always that temptation to hold your fast bowlers back for the death overs. So I think it's the right move by the captain. Just finish off the spinners. Let the innings keep going. Not too many boundaries that the spinners are giving. Not too many loose balls, except for the one that we saw earlier, this over.
Absolutely right. So if it's going to be a spinner or a fast bowler, depends on what you're looking at. Are you looking at the surface of the sky? This lefty-righty combination can be a little troublesome for Mehdi. Can he close it out well here? We'll close it out with a single. Theo Narayan retains strike. And Harsh Thakur, don't throw the ball. You might have to bowl the next one. 11 overs gone, 60 for 2.
How did a global retail pharmacy increase orders by 100%? How did a multinational bank build a #1 rated digital app? With people who help leading companies transform through technology. Engineer a better future. Discover how at ust.com.
11 overs gone, 60 for 2. Harsh Thakur will continue, no prizes for guessing. The Canadian has done excellently off late as a spinner as well, not just with the bat. Picking up the player of the match in the Canada GT20 as well, and you've seen him very closely, haven't you?
Yes, Suhas, he's been very impressive. Youngster from Canada, has bowled very well, he's mixed up his pace. He's got the ball to drift. Obviously, he's putting a lot of revs on the ball. It's been very impressive. Just one over. We'll see how he goes in this inning.
And looks like he's got 1 year on commentary. While you said that he was impressive, look at the way he curtailed his length once again for a dancing Theo Narayan. He's bowling to 2 international batters of caliber galore. And he adjusts so brilliantly, Harsh Thakur. The kind of cricket that he gets to play as well is becoming more competitive as he travels around the world. He was phenomenal in Oman too. He's someone who waited for his opportunity there. And then come the Canada GT20. A crunch game, scored those 50 runs, walked away with the player of the match. Seattle Thunderbolts have sourced their openers from Canada, it seems. DP and now Harsh Thakur.
Yes, after the exodus of a lot of those cricketers from last year's championship team, they seem to have done a really good job into building another winning team. Getting a lot of cricketers from Canada and from around the country. It's a very impressive squad.
Just like San Diego Surf Riders have New Zealand on their speed dial.
Yes, we do.
No, what a good over this has been. A couple of singles peppered, and that's about it. Can he close it well? Dion Narayan will have other ideas. Dion Narayan would want to hit with the wind, but the ball is being offered on the offside.
Yeah, seems to be content to just push it around, look for the gaps, try and get some confidence. He attempted a couple of boundaries earlier on in his innings, didn't quite pay off. So doesn't want to take up those risks at this point. Wants to get the gauge of a pitch before he starts attacking again.
Very well done, slowing it, keeping it away from the arc of Greg Hay, offering nothing but a single. Harsh Thakur has completed another brilliant over. 12 overs later, 64 for 2.
What's up, Doug? What got into you?
At Sunoco, we know how to fuel peak performance. Fuel your best.
Twelve overs go on, 64 for 2. A bottle of water with more messages than liquid. What's a good total now? Come on. 8 wickets in hand for the San Diego Surf Riders.
They've got to try to push it to 140 or 150. Absolutely. They have a lot of wickets in hand. They have 8 wickets in hand. A lot of attacking batters. They're going with a batting heavy lineup today. They're batting till 9. So both these experienced campaigners need to get a move on. Need to dominate. As we see Rahul now bowling from the other end.
This could be tight, but they needed a direct hit there from Shadley. Was a very risky single. And remember, Dion Narayan is not the quickest.
Yes, he's not a spring chicken. A lot of youngsters today, especially in the Seattle team. But T20 cricket always surprises you. It's not just about young people pouncing around, diving around. There's room for experienced cricketers. There's room for guys with a lot of wisdom.
Shots like this will follow. A couple of runs here. And you're absolutely right. We've talked about how T20 is mostly a youthful format, and then Dhoni came in with what's called the Dad's Army and won the IPL for CSK.
Yes, with 10 people in the team. Dhoni just stands behind the stumps, just calling the shots, planning the strategy, knowing exactly who to bowl when.
The spinners are doing really well. I think looking at the surface is why the captain said, Harsh Thakur, you're also a candidate to bowl today. A fielder at deep point. Just in front of the commentary position. Greg on the leg side will get a single. Rahul Nama is keeping the boundary balls at bay. This is a contest brewing.
Yeah, something's got to give now. Especially when it's a left-hander, Narsingh Dion Narayan batting. You'd hope that it's a better matchup for Narsingh. This is when he's got to take this bowler on.
This should be taken. And it can't get easier than this. Rahul Nama strikes. He had to wait for 2.5 overs to get his first breakthrough. But San Diego hasn't disappointed him.
Yes, we called it here, Suhas. He had to take him on, but he did that unsuccessfully. Rahul's been very impressive. That was much quicker through the air. Didn't give the batsman a lot of room to free his arms.
Just get a feeling that he got a leading edge. Was he trying to play for the turn and the ball didn't?
You haven't seen Rahul turn even one ball.
He's playing with the illusion of turn. That's why many of the batters have been trapped in front when Rahul bowled, especially in south of India. Back in India, the college championships, Rahul Nama is still a name. The silent assassin. Dion
Yes.
Narayan knew immediately, JD.
This reminds me of Ravi Bishnoi, who plays for India. The ball always appears to be a leg spinner, but it never is. Always goes the other way.
Met him recently in Pim's Mewad Cup 2023, Ravi Bishnoi, and in fact the whole Spartan Cricket Academy of his. And Ravi Bishnoi bowled 6 deliveries, all of them googly, and picked up 4 wickets. And opened the batting too.
Open the batting.
Opened the batting too as the skipper.
Wow. Well, India needs that. India needs a wrist spinner who can bat.
But I'll tell you what, I was watching him after a long time and I watched him from the commentary position. It looked like it was Rashid Khan because he was so quick. I think he's increased his pace a yard or two, and it's not something that you associate with a spinner, but it's a spinner who's increased his pace. I think we've just got to that point of the game where the spinners are bowling quicker, pacers are bowling slower.
You see that a lot in T20 cricket, don't you? You see spinners increasing their speed. That seems to be something that a lot of coaches harp in on as well. You don't want bowlers, especially spinners, just loopy and slow through the air. Again, there's room for those bowlers as well if you're smart enough and if you use the surface and if you get the ball to turn. But if you don't, and if you just place the ball, in the slot, it's very easy for power hitters to whack you out of the park.
Absolutely right. And now Greg Hay needs to find the power hitter in him very soon. 39 of 44 needs to get a move on.
Speaking of power hitters, we see Abhinay Reddy walk into the crease, facing his second ball. Plays for my team here locally in San Diego. A big hitter, can hit the ball a mile.
He's decided to offer soft hands to it. Will only take a single. Is it because of DP's reputation? Some things will never change. Greg Hay, after every delivery, will come in and talk to the surface, tap it a few times and tell it to not misbehave. But Mehdi Hassan is in search of his first wicket. Easing it in the gap, will pick up a single. Reddy's got to take him on now.
Yes, Mehdi and Rahul have switched ends, interestingly. Rahul bowled well from the other end. I think Mehdi got a couple of bad balls. He would be hoping for better luck from this end. A couple of inside edges, beating off the bat.
That's a very good shot. Work to do and does well. A one-handed pickup. And I think it's Rahul.
Yes, good fielding from Rahul to stop that ball from trickling across the rope.
That was destined to go for 4, I thought. Rahul had other ideas. The belief with which he ran towards it, offering it one hand. Reddy will pick up a single. The spinners are keeping the batters on their toes.
It's good to see this from Abhinay. Exactly what the Surf Riders need. He's come with a plan. He's come to attack and dominate.
Good bowling once again. It's not a wicket-taking option, but what he's doing is reducing the impact of the shots. You can get maximum 1 but 2, maximum 2. Drawing the batter forward. Mehdi Hassan is bowling according to the situation here. He's bowling for damage control. Slapped straight down the ground as Jagrup ran up, out it, no. Reddy immediately knew he didn't get enough on this one, but what a good attempt by Jagrup in the deep.
A fabulous attempt there. We're building him up as the best fielder in the team. And he's consistently been showing us why. Incredible attempt. Almost pulled that off.
14 overs gone, 77 for 3. What an exciting end to that over. One more over up his sleeve, Mehdi Hassan. Will be interesting to see how the captain uses him.
आ गया है लक्ष्मी बासमती राइस को घर लाने का। लक्ष्मी एक्स्ट्रा लॉन्ग बासमती राइस। इसका हर दाना हो इतना लंबा, पकते हुए महके और प्लेट पे क्या खूब खिले। हाँ, तेरे घर लाने का।
Reddy departs. Something had to give, had to go for the big shot. In the end, it looked like they missed a pretty straight one. Rahul Nama, you can't keep him out of the game. What a good find he's been for the Seattle Thunderbolts.
Yes, he's been mighty impressive. 2 very important wickets at different stages of the game. He's picked up wickets, cut down the runs. Incredible effort from the youngster.
I think he set a benchmark for every other spinner in the side. There are more experienced spinners in the side that he plays for. Seattle Thunderbolts, but it's Rahul Nama who's shining. It's one of the specialities of the Seattle Thunderbolts, and I tell you this because of the management that keeps the players in a great mindset. Every person turning up in pink believes that he can be a match winner. And that's exactly why it's a team that was able to have an answer for every difficult situation last year.
Yes, this definitely is a new challenge for the Seattle franchise overall. Not just the players, but also for the owners and the coach and manager. How do you take this new cast of characters and turn them into a championship team?
Sri Krishna Anantaraju. One day he's at number 6, and one day he'll even open the batting. At number 6, Sri Krishna, we all remember on this very ground against Elmore Hutchinson, 1 ball 6 to win. Fielder in the deep, the ball flies away. And Sri Krishna, who hasn't hit a boundary in the entire tournament up until that point, won them the game.
Yes, what an incredible moment. Those are the kind of moments you live for as a cricketer, isn't it? You'd hope for something special from Sri Krishna if you're a Surf Riders supporter.
Greg Hayes got to get a move on at this stage, but one thing that might be playing in his mind is that he's losing partners at regular intervals, and because Reddy did not get going, he was scoring nothing but singles. Ananta Raju, he needs to get a boundary. That'll allow Greg Hay to shift to the next gear or two. Otherwise, it's the same old story. Good delivery. Now with Sri Krishna Anantaraju, his reach is a little different. He's a tall lad. So you got to curtail your length accordingly, and Rahul Nama has learnt that brilliantly. No fielder at point. Is he looking to go through point? His long look to go straight should be taken. Yes, it is. Rahul Nama picks up another. And Sri Krishna departs with what looks like a half-hearted shot.
Yes, a disappointing end for Sri Krishna. Such a beautiful batsman. Not very typical of him to just get going from ball 1 or 2. Tried to slog it down the ground. Didn't quite maintain his shape. It's not easy as a batter in T20 cricket to just get going from ball 1, especially on a tacky pitch like this.
The Surf Riders lose half their side. It's 79 for 5. And Rahul Nama very quietly picks up another wicket. There's no flashiness about him. He just comes quietly and does his job.
Yes, one delivery remaining in his spell. He's been brilliant so far. 16 for 3. Can he finish with another wicket?
If he does that, he'll stun the San Diego Surf Riders into silence. Very experienced Datta comes out to bat. What brings him to the crease is Rahul Nama's brilliance. Final delivery of Rahul Nama. And it was the quicker one indeed. 15 overs gone. What a successful over for Rahul Nama. San Diego Surf Riders 79 for 5.
How did a global retail pharmacy increase orders by 100%? How did a multinational bank build a #1 rated digital app? With people who help leading companies transform through technology. Engineer a better future. Discover how at ust.com.
$15 overs gone, 79 for 5.
Yes, that score of 150 or 140 seems so far away now. With half the side back in the shed. A lot's going to depend on Greg Hay. He's the set batter over here. Says 47 balls. If he can finish strong, just like he did last year, remember? He took his time, but he made sure that he finished strong. He made use of the last 15, 20 deliveries. This is exactly what the Surf Riders would be hoping.
Will he treat Rohan Posanapalli as a chink in the armory of the Seattle Thunderbolts? A little inexperienced compared to Greg Hay. And Greg Hay is set. Rohan Posanapalli. Now will he shine? He's got the opportunity. These are the testing moments that he'll look back. Cheeky! And will deliver. Greg Hay gets a boundary.
Yes, a bit of innovation from Greg Hay. He does that every now and then. Chips down the track. You'll see the fancy scoops and sweeps from Greg Hay. That's exactly what you need. He's gotten a measure of the surface. Needs to play more shots. Dominate this inexperienced youngster, like you said, Suhas.
Inching towards his half century as well. Once again anchoring the innings for the San Diego Surf Riders. Acting as a circuit breaker when wickets were falling around him. What's Rohan's response? Is he going pace off? That's a good delivery. What a comeback by Rohan Posanapalli. The young versus the experienced.
Yes, these are the kind of contests you get to watch in the minor league. as well as other leagues around the world. You have a 39-year-old Greg Hay take on the 20-year-old Rohan. Beautiful to watch.
He's standing slightly outside his crease here. Greg Hay will get that single through the offside, and it's a good denomination. Oh, is he coming back for the second? There was a bit of a misfield, but no damage done. False alarm. Five of the first three. Rohan's got to keep it tight. It's a delivery that he's been working on. It's a different kind of a slower delivery. I think it's somewhere between a slower delivery and a cutter. What a start it was to this over with Greg Hay getting outside the line, bringing his body away from the ball so that he can allow that ball to go through. Offering it just enough bat, JD. What a good shot.
Beautiful shot. Love seeing that. You want to see that in T20 cricket. You want to see this, this kind of innovation.
He's disappointed with himself. Greg Hay thought that's a great opportunity to score some runs, especially 4 of them.
Yeah, what's important to have in your arsenal as a batsman is not just classy cover drives and forward defenses and back foot cuts. It's also important in this day and age to have an armory of a different variety of shots. You need to have the scoop, you need to have the reverse sweep, you need to be able to dance down the track. Important to have that range as a batsman.
And when someone like Greg Hay does that, when he plays the scoop, does it play in the mind of a youngster, not just the one that is bowling to him, but the one who's watching? Does he tell himself, well, I've learned the textbook, let me look at the supplementary sheets now?
Absolutely. Put so much pressure as a, to the bowler. Because you want to be able to start well, especially in the beginning of the over. When you do that in the first ball of the over, it's very, very important to come back.
Very well placed. As far as the fielder is concerned, it's Shadow himself. What a comeback by Rohan Posanapalli. 87 for 5, the San Diego Surf Riders. Mehdi Hassan. He has gone wicketless, but he's kept one end tight. Oh, that's a good shot. And Greg Hay, with that, boundary will get to a half century. What a good effort as well from Jagrup Raina. Sometimes you need to get more than 4 runs for beating a particular fielder. It's a half century for Greg Hay. Well batted. Well poised.
Yes, crucial knock for both Greg Hay and the Surf Riders. Not just for this match, but the remaining, the upcoming matches for the Surf Riders. It's great to have Greg Hay back in the runs, back in form.
Terrific effort from Jagrup Raina, one that you won't get bored of watching it 100 times. Tells you the standards that they set for themselves, the cricketers. And when you see someone like Shadow as the captain who sets high standards for himself, jumping in long on and long off to take one-handed catches, then well, you better be good.
Yes, I'm a big fan of Shadow. What an incredible cricketer. Both with the bat, with the ball, on the field. Now as captain.
This will travel. Well, for some reason, Greg's not happy. Shashwat Kohli.
The ball seems to have hit the pole.
Or would you believe it? That's the only way you could have stopped that ball from going for 6, it seemed like, because last I checked, the fielder Kohli missed a jetpack because that was traveling for sure.
Such terrible luck.
Not this time. This will travel the distance. Tucker needed to grow wings to get there. This is what Nikhil Datta is known for.
Such a powerful hit from Nikhil Datta. He is a clean striker of the ball. We've seen that last season. Great to have him face a significant number of deliveries compared to his last innings. Great strike.
And the man in the deep knows that Nikhil Datta can strike it big. Wait a minute. Did Harsh Thakur... Oh, this is going to travel the distance. Don't bother even searching for the ball. 11 fielders are not enough. This is what you do on a rest day. Go search for the leather.
Another free swing of his arms. Nikhil Datta is turning on the heat. Back-to-back sixes. Probably would have had a hat-trick of sixes if not for the light tower on the field.
The box of balls, that needs to come out now. One needs to be very optimistic to try and search for that in time. Mehdi Hassan's missed his mark and the ball disappears. The crescendo finish that the San Diego Surf Riders were hoping for doesn't seem to be too far away now. If Nikhil Datta can continue his merry way, a good total is still on the cards. 3 overs, they'll be aiming for somewhere around 35 to 40. Have the momentum, and on a difficult track, on a tricky track, let's put it this way, put the Seattle Thunderbolts under pressure, is what Greg Hay would be telling his boys already. Nikhil Datta, can he provide the big finish?
Yes, every run is going to be so crucial at this stage. Short delivery, whacked on the onside by Nikhil Datta, but just gets a single.
Greg Hay is finally happy that some partner of his is trying to strike the ball cleanly and way into the stands and beyond. That's gone. Greg Hay has decided to sweep one that didn't deserve. Kept low. Mehdi Hassan's ball to Zuta.
Yes, a quicker one by Mehdi Hassan. He's realized that he's been tossing up the ball a little bit, especially after the double strike by Nikhil Datta. So he's quickened up his pace, which has earned him a wicket. A crucial wicket, might I add, of the captain Greg Hay.
This was quicker than expected, lower than expected. And those are good ingredients for a bowler if he's looking for a wicket. The set batter is back in the hut after a well-made 50. Captain departs for 52. 103 for 6. In box, Agnesh Tondale.
Yes, Agnesh Tondale can strike the ball cleanly as well. It'll be important with Nikhil hitting a couple of boundaries that Agnesh doesn't take too much time. Either gives a strike to Nikhil or gets going right away as well.
Was in a crunch situation when he was batting at Woodley against the SoCal Lashings. Interestingly, Nikhil was looking for a single. Shadows come out to ball. And you were right about Shadley saving the Pacers for the end of the innings.
Yes, it's nice to see Shadow take on the responsibility of bowling at the death, bowling the 18th and the 20th over. And viewers, if you watched the previous match that the Seattle Thunderbolts played, Shadow bowled the last ball that got hit for a 6. Very, very close finish. You'll get that if you play T20 cricket. But it's important you don't get dissuaded from those moments, especially as a captain. Take it on. You win some, you lose some, you create some special moments, but it's important to keep persevering on.
You've been a part of a setup that's taught you so much, isn't it? Especially through cricket. Oh, that's got height and distance. Don't bother chasing that. And
Another
the
powerful
tennis
hit.
court. Yeah, the tennis court's got a visitor. And I'm not sure you can accommodate that visitor.
A great strike by Nikhil again. He looks to be in imperious form here, Nikhil. Again, he's always had incredible striking ability. And the Surf Riders will need that. Will need that to come to the fore.
This is why the first dot ball is something that San Diego Surf Riders wouldn't mind. Had you taken that single, should have been Tondale. Good adjustment by Nikhil. It's the extra pace of Shadley. When something's not in the region to hit, it's important as a batter in this format to understand and play a shot that's not going to guarantee a dot ball. You need at least a single. Now, what a shot that was. Clean striking. And that went straight on top of the camera person who could only tilt so much because there was the roof above that. One more through that. It's going to come through that. One more in that region is going to come through. Adnesh has done the right thing here. Quietly picked up a single. You talked about Shadley. You've talked about Shadley. Someone who assumes more responsibility, now being given the captaincy role. New core as well. Not the team that he won the championship with last time. New core and the captaincy. How do you see Shadley's response?
Yeah, it's a great challenge, especially for a cricketer like Shadley. Played a lot of first-class cricket in South Africa. I'm sure he's, having talked to him, I'm sure he's enjoying the responsibility of being the captain of the side, of being able to groom a lot of youngsters, developing this team. Completely new core, completely new team. Got to make sure everyone's gelling together, get the chemistry right within the team, have the pride of playing like champions. He seems to be doing a great job. Again, love him as an individual, great cricketer, very, very humble guy. It's nice to see him do well.
That was in the slot. And Nikhil Datta is in a murderous mood today. And if you follow the ball, it lands right on top of the camera person and disappears into the foliage. It's Nelson for 6. Come on, give us a hop, JD.
Thank God for the roof over his head.
Yes, when you're standing at that height, you don't want to see stars. Good change in pace. I think Shiva's realized as this game progresses, it's going to go slower and slower. These are great figures as well, JD. 14 for 1 in 3 overs. You take that many days, especially
Absolutely.
on a track where spinners are dominating.
Absolutely. Shiva's a very, very good cricketer. Very handy with the bat as well.
An import from the East Coast. That bounced a little more. There are spots on this pitch which does not like the batter. Greg H has got out to one that zoots past him. And this one was aimed for the chin.
Yes, it's down to the skill of the bowler as well. That one particularly, it seemed like Shiva put in a lot of shoulder, a lot of effort into that ball.
And Nikhil Datta, who wants to forget that there is a spot that exists there and just hit through the line. Didn't miss by much. But San Diego Surf Riders know that those few centimeters can add a lot of runs at this stage.
Yes, Nikhil seems to be very clear with his plan. Just bash the ball out of the park.
That plan's okay when he's batting from the other end. From this end, the ball disappears. You don't get it back. A little surprised that Adnesh did not take a start there. It's good to be in your crease till the ball is released. No doubt about it. But I think he was too deep.
Yeah, good point, Suhas. It's very important to be ready at the non-striker's end.
These are the little things, perhaps the proactiveness that the youngsters will learn watching and re-watching their games. And I'm very sure that the coaches will also put in a word immediately after a dot ball. Nikhil Datta wants to pass on a message to the young Adnesh Tondale.
I think the message would be just take him on, go for it. It's the last ball of the 19th over. He wants to keep strike in the next over.
Man in the deep should treat this as catching practice. Oh, he's put it down. Harsh Thakur's put it down. The sky and the ball at one stage looked very similar in color. And he's put the catch down. Adnesh survives and two more added to the tally. Just when Shiva thought, finally the second wicket's coming to me. Not to be today.
Yes, you get that as a cricketer every now and then. Never a good feeling when you drop a catch. But you got to take that in your stride. Got to make sure it doesn't affect the rest of the game for you mentally. Remember, he's got to do a job with the bat as well, Harsh.
Is it really true that it plays in your mind as a cricketer at this level as well, or do you feel you just got to put it back, put it behind you, and then continue?
Absolutely, at any level.
Final over. Good strike. Wants to take the second. Face most of the deliveries. Slightly wider throw, and Nikhil gets there. And for some fielders and some batters, it fires them up too. Which category does Harsh belong to?
We'll wait and watch. 5 deliveries remaining. Nikhil Datta would hope to face all 5 of them.
And do this more often. This has not got the distance though. And taken by Rahul Nama. He hasn't put a foot wrong today. He can be your best fielder. He can be your best bowler. Rahul Nama is a name to remember.
Yes, what a day for him, Rahul. He's been great with the ball. He's also been great on the field. Great running catch.
What did Shadley do differently to induce this fall shot? Never took his eyes off the ball. Rahul Nama was unfazed by the fact that there's Jagrup Rana running towards it too. That's the self-belief that's been injected in the Seattle Thunderbolts side. It's a different core. But the values remain the same. Play hard and believe in yourself. Gayan, who's made the switch from SoCal to San Diego. He's been excellent with the ball in hand. But cricket sometimes will tell you, you got to do something that you're not good at too. Can he strike big?
Yes, Gayan's a pretty handy batsman, especially lower down the order. Can hit the long ball. But doesn't have a lot of time here. Both these batters need to get bat on ball. Couple of boundaries will help them out.
130 on a tricky surface. Extra pace. Was a little late on that shot, Adnesh. Very baseball-like stroke. This is a good over from Shanley. This is experience for you. Unfazed by what happened in the previous over. Comes back and has the last laugh. Picks up Nikhil Datta early on in the over. Creates an impact. 2 runs after that. Just 2 runs.
Absolutely. That's what champion cricketers do.
That length is a little nagging. Is Gran Fernando indirectly facing his syllabus? Is he where he needs to bowl too?
Yes, I'm sure he'd be getting an understanding of the pitch. Looking at what are some of the good areas to bowl at. What are the lengths? Where is it difficult?
Final delivery. And is once again saved the bouncer for the final one. This was a little too high, says the umpire. He's got to re-bowl. 121 for 7. Adnesh should want to end on a high. Just offering the bats to a lot of pace is not a bad option at all, because Shatley wants Colwick. That engine's getting warmed up every ball in this over. Slow ball bouncer, Adnesh connects, and that will travel the distance. What a finish for the San Diego Surf Riders. Will get the momentum they so dearly needed, 127. And they'll invite the Seattle Thunderbolts to get a 128 on the board if they want to be called winners. It's a great finish for the young Tondale.
Great finish indeed by Adnesh. That'll give both these guys, Adnesh and Gayan, a lot of confidence as they head into the second inning to bowl. Remember, both these are your opening bowlers for the San Diego Surf Riders. Great way to shift the momentum. 127 it is after the end of the first inning.
127 for the San Diego Surf Riders, thanks to their captain who scored a half century. He ensured that the engine room doesn't crumble despite Marty Kane's early exit today. 52 of 54, and Greg Hay gets a ball that does kiss his shin and nothing more. Adit was looking good. Unfortunately, was caught short when he was going for that single. Narsinghdev Narayan hung around, but did not continue to bat the way the team wanted. Abhinay Reddy didn't have a game to remember with a bat in hand, and will he change it on the field? Sri Krishna had a disappointing game too, but Nikhil Datta injected the momentum with his 22 of 15, and Adnesh's 6 at the end provided the impetus to get to 127 for the San Diego Surf Riders.
Yes, not a pretty scorecard for the San Diego Surf Riders, and it's the complete opposite for the Seattle Thunderbolts. See Sivakumar, 4 overs, 18 runs for 1 wicket. Shadley Vance Skalvik, the captain, 4 overs, 30 runs. Couple of sixes, but reasonable figures. Rahul Nama, 4 overs, 16 for 3, the star of the show for the Seattle team. Rohan Posanipalli, 2 overs, 15. Mehdi Hassan, 34 of his 4 overs, picking up a wicket. Harsh Thakur has been pretty impressive, 2 overs, 9 runs. Pretty good bowling card.
Yes, 6 bowlers used. Wickets were taken initially, but then there was a good partnership towards the end, and they needed a big shot towards the end as well, and San Diego Surf Riders got that from Adnesh. 127 is not a daunting total, but it's a total that you can still fight with on a track which does have a few things to answer for the batter. 128 is the magical number that the men in pink would be after. Will they get there or no? We'll find out in a moment's time.
And as we head into the break, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank our sponsors, Westpac Partners, Sysintelli, MCP Gov, and UST. Always appreciate your support.
Try throwing it back into me. Try throwing it back into my hands, okay? Wait, oh! Wait, I didn't even get one. Please. Okay, wait. Hira. Yes! You're out. So, whoever catches the ball, throw it back to me. No! You didn't get it. I threw it back to Avi. Wait. What was that? Sam could have caught it. Bro, Sam could have caught it. I could have. Hey! It's like volleyball. Oh, just hit it over. Wait, Adi, I'm going to try throwing it back to you so you can catch it, okay? Oh! Sick! No! Yeah! Adi, one more. Catch it, Adi! Adi! I meant to do that. Adi, okay, I'm gonna bounce. Yes! Ow! Yes, I have one, please. I didn't get one. And throw it back to me, okay? Okay. This is for Sam. Yeah, this is for Sam. Okay. Catch it! Okay, Adi, my turn. Adi, give me one. Okay. No, my turn. Ooh, it's a better one. My turn. Guys, I found a better one. Let's use the better one. This one's mine. Sam. Definitely. Catch it. Watch it. It wasn't for. Sam robbed him. Adi. Adi, catch that. Adi, catch that. Which Adi? Half the time I don't know. If I say Adi, it's you. And if I say Adi, it's him. Adi! Catch it! Yes! Adi, catch! Wait, yeah! Adi! Run, Adi! Adi! Sam! I got it! No! You guys, come on, catch it, yes. Bro! Adi, give me a tackle, sis. It's not as bad as I thought. Like a normal walker, you know, not a people. Wait, Audrey, what walker are you? I'm 107. You're right. Oh, you want me? See, you're 13. What period did you run? Run. No, because I'm a 7th grader. Who is not 7th grader? Someone else.
Play with them. Why are you playing with me?
I just saw your... Oh. Yes! Someone you! You're blocking him. We were on camera the whole time. Ollie, Vivon, your shirt's on the camera. Not my face. Now Ira's on the camera. Okay, stop it. Don't... Someone you're on the camera. YouTube channel. Like, it's not funny. People will be very confused when they look at this YouTube. They can hear you now. Yeah, actually. Here, Adi. Adi! Okay, let's see. Oh, wait. Adi, throw this up in the air. Let's see some. What's the... Okay. Bro, we were on camera the whole time. I just realized that they were on. People who look at the YouTube stream will be very confused. Why is it all about glasses? They might not be using the camera at that point. No, what if they're using a different camera? Yeah, what if they're using a different camera? Yeah, they are using. Woohoo! Let's go! Go, Jim! I'm probably just like that and run out. Oh, yeah.
$128 required for the Seattle Thunderbolts. And San Diego Surfriders on home turf. Decided to open with Nikhil Datta, the mystery spinner. Beautiful shot. That's going to go for 4 in no time. Dilpreet Bajwa. That's what he's known for. What a way to start.
Yeah, great shot there. Just waited on the back foot and timed it to perfection. Just look at that. Not committing to the front foot. Waited for the ball to come on and then pushed it through the gap. Beautiful shot.
And this one didn't bounce as much. It's one of those moments for San Diego Surfriders where they say, thank God we've already batted on this track. And we need more of this now.
Yes, it'll be interesting to see if the pitch is going to become tougher to bat on. Or is it going to, settle a little bit and become easier?
Nikhil Datta was so good to watch in the Canada GT22 in a couple of games. Single-handedly turning the game around.
Yes, very skillful bowler. Again, you see these mystery bowlers coming on in T20 cricket. And Nikhil Datta is one of those mystery bowlers, can turn the ball both ways.
He modeled his action around Sunil Narayan, the remodeled action of Sunil Narayan, one must say. But he's increased the run-up of late. 5 without a wicket after the first over.
Took that last corner pretty quick.
Sir, I need one hand on the roof, one hand on the pump.
Timeout for Sunoco Go Rewards.
Keep pumping.
With new Sunoco Go rewards, when you fuel, you save because rewards come first.
Early wickets are the key for the San Diego Surf Riders to stay in this game. We were discussing JD during the break as well. They might be 15 runs short, even though this track has been a little up and down. And that means more responsibility on Gayan Fernando to pick up the wicket early to provide that breakthrough.
Definitely. Gayan has been the form bowler for the Surf Riders, and they would expect him to get some early wickets. Very crucial, especially when you're defending a low total. 127, not a lot of runs, you would think, for a T20 game. But again, I always say, Suhas, it's very tough to say how good a pitch is until both teams have batted on it. Let's see how the Seattle team goes about on this pitch.
Once that single, it was premeditated. Directed would have been tough. Backup arrives as well, just in time. Marty Kane is kicking himself.
Yes, take Marty Kane on at your own peril. An electric fielder is Marty Kane. He was on the ball in a flash.
Towards his natural side too. Much better from Gyan. Vedant, who's picked up the ball, will have a thing or two to do as this game progresses because the spinners have been excellent today. You sometimes, as a spinner, feel itchy when the opponent spinners are doing well too, because you know the surface is going to help you.
Yes, you're always looking at how the opponents do.
Good bowling once again. He's someone capable of delivering a heavy ball, Gyan Fernando. Remember, just 2 men can patrol the boundary rope at this stage. It's the first power play. There's a man at deep point, just in front to deep point, and one at deep mid-wicket. No swing, so no slip. Slower delivery, that's through the gap. Will he come back for the second here? Second was an afterthought.
Abhinay Reddy has got a good arm. That's why they've stationed him over there at deep extra cover.
Prajit wasn't part of the regular side in the previous season, but was touring with the side and learning so much. Today he's got an opportunity. Solidly defended.
He's a very good batter, is Prajit Moody. He's played first-class cricket back home in India for Andhra Pradesh. Very classy batter. We haven't seen the best of him yet in minor league cricket. A couple of handy knocks here and there over the last couple of seasons. Will this be the season for him?
Good slower delivery. Had to reach out for it, but still within the tram line, so no problem. Finishes with a good delivery. Gyan Fernando, just 1 run of that over. 6 without a wicket.
आ गया है लक्ष्मी बासमती राइस को घर लाने का। लक्ष्मी एक्स्ट्रा लॉन्ग बासमती राइस। इसका हर दाना हो इतना लंबा, पकते हुए महके और प्लेट पे क्या खूब खिले।
हाँ, मेरे घर लाने का।
2 overs gone, 6 for no loss. Marty will operate in the power play. He's decided to go with a man at deep mid-wicket and a man at long off, slightly wider in Adnesh Tondale.
Marty Kane into the attack. Decided to change it up a little bit, bring in a left-arm spinner against both right-handed batters. You see that matchup played out quite a bit in T20 cricket.
It's not a bad ploy at all because Dilpreet Bajwa is someone who loves pace, loves when the ball comes on to the bat. Today it's different. Marty Kane with his slinky action. He's a little difficult to pick in terms of the action too.
Yes, a very different action. Marty Kane has a lot of hands and legs, so it's very difficult to get a sight of the ball.
It's the non-bowling arm that causes the confusion, not the bowling arm.
Definitely.
It retracts a little later. It's almost as if he's recoiled it and then he lets it go a little later.
So as you said something earlier, you said the art of illusion. That's something a lot of bowlers use to deceive the batters.
Gently guides it in the gap. Work to do for Nikhil, but the ball will win the race. Much needed boundary for Bajwa.
Beautifully timed there by Bajwa. Nothing more than a gentle push, it seemed like.
Prajit, I beg your pardon.
Oh, it is Prajit. Excuse me.
Hanging his bat around there. I also feel that Marty Kane gave too much room because he's sidestepping and that release point changed completely. Look how wide he comes off the crease. Backup arrives. Good intensity from San Diego Surf Riders, but it's the Seattle Thunderbolts who are sneaking those singles. Straight back to Marty. No problem. For some reason, Marty is unhappy though. A dot ball's not a good enough ball?
I think it's just the frustration of the previous delivery, having missed a run-out opportunity, possibly.
Now that single's just not available. But the good thing is, for Seattle Thunderbolts, Bajwa, Modi, both of them have been good with their boundary scoring. 12 without a wicket. 6 of Marty's over. Gan Fernando. Beautifully guided, will get a single. In hindsight, they could have gone for the second run because there was a bit of time taken by AB in recovering. Reddy is one of the quickest fielders, and no doubt about his throwing arm, as well as JD mentioned moments ago. Very rare occurrence that. It's good to see that Greg Hay is talking to Fernando before every single delivery. Greg Hay is someone who's not very intrusive either. He's someone who'll advise you but will tell you only apply if it works for you.
Absolutely. Very calm, very composed. Doesn't like to interfere too much. Doesn't get in your space too much as a captain. It's very important as a captain to give the freedom to your bowlers, but still be that guiding light as far as what your plans are and have clarity of thought.
Good pickup shot. And it'll race away for 4. Excruciatingly close for Datta. But it was always going to be 4. Gets into double figures now. This is why DP is special. You can't bowl on his legs. You just can't. He's so good at providing the bat percentage required as well. It's not the best place to hit that ball because it's a little up and down. The grass is not the batter's best friend. The outfield is slow, but he's still got a boundary. Dilpreet Singh Bajwa, a star from Vancouver. Gyan misses his mark. I mean, he got starts. Was trying to rotate as much as possible in power play. Today, will he make a difference? Dilpreet Bajwa. 134 of 155 recently, Dilpreet Bajwa. That's before he got his opportunity in the Canada GT20. Mississauga did not have a good season anyway. But there was a lot of learning. Prajit's a little itchy to get to the striker's end. Now, San Diego Surf Riders is a very different team in the Bay Area. I'll tell you why. Because they always concentrate on 2 match winners and a lot of youngsters. Youngsters who can call their team their own and tell the world that we belong here too. It's always a very young side.
Yes, and deliberately so. We want to make sure that we provide an opportunity to a lot of the local cricketers, to a lot of the youngsters, like I said, that can make their mark.
Second run. Bit of a misfield. And it's from someone who doesn't usually believe in the concept of a misfield. Marty Kane. This wasn't towards his normal or his natural side. Fernando's unhappy.
But you'll take that as the fielding team. A bit of desperation is what you need if you're defending 127.
You're going to make every run count. You're going to make that 127 look like 140 by throwing yourself around. Dilpreet Bajwa at his best. Straight as an arrow. It shall disappear. Some sixes are just sweet to watch. This is one such. No half measures whatsoever.
Yes, this is looking ominous for the Surf Riders. Dilpreet Bajwa is looking powerful at the crease. Incredibly well-timed, straight bat. What a beautiful picture that is if you're a cricket lover.
And this is why Dilpreet Bajwa is special. In difficult situations, he scored runs. On difficult tracks, he knows how to score runs. Slightly longer format of the game. Bats under the Johnson brothers. So you know you got to be at your best. When you're getting an opportunity, you make it count. And this is how. Just a little half a step in front. Just half a step, JD. And then full face of the bat.
Yes, and he poses for the cameras as well.
Not quite sure if he's good friends with the camera person because he's trying to target his head twice now. But yes, would love to hold that pose. The keeper has come up. Oh, that's because it's Nikhil. Nikhil Datta, mind you, will have the run-up like a pacer, but still a spinner. More protection on the offside. Devam just in front of point. Almost cover point. Catch it is the call. Will it carry? Looks like it did. That's the first breakthrough. Just when Devam was moved an inch towards his left, it's worked wonders. The Thunderbolts lose their first wicket in the shape of Bajwa. It's Nikhil Datta who struck.
Seems like it's Prajit Moody who just got out. But nevertheless, very important wicket for the Surf Riders. Great catch by Devam. Youngster, all of 18 years of age, taking it low to his right. That'll give him a lot of confidence.
Absolutely will. Prajit, indeed it is. Was hitting through the offside and was was throwing his bat at it. It's the second time he's done that in this little innings, and this time Devam's caught it brilliantly.
You can see how elated Devam is. Again, he plays for our team here in San Diego. Very talented youngster, 18 years of age, very talented off-spinner. He's improving his fielding skills as well.
He was moved before this ball, exactly in that position. Kudos to the keeper as well, Adit, who ensured that Devam standing according to the most troublesome position for the batter. Just making him move towards the left or right a little more. This is the experience of Nikhil Datta, isn't it? He just knew that he needed a fielder there. He could preempt the shot that Prajit was going to play.
Yes, good plan by Nikhil, keeping it back of the length, forcing the batsman to cut while placing that fielder over there.
So far, so good. 27 deliveries, 26 Seattle Thunderbolts. It's not a big total, remember that. Ian Chauhan, with all his experience, he'll try to guide this team home. Played so much for Jammu and Kashmir.
Yes, on the way here, Suhas, you were telling me about Ian Chauhan and how he played for Jammu and Kashmir, how he's won many matches for his team, and looking forward to see him bat here.
He has the technical prowess to survive this track. And he's one of those players who sometimes a player looks more dangerous because he knows exactly how much to get. Much like Virat Kohli, who's known as the master of chasing because he knows how to pace his innings. Run a ball 19 for Bajwa.
Yes, we were discussing in the first inning how it's very important to have a proper template in T20 cricket. As we see, an incredible shot there. Is it catchable? Incredible save. Is it taken? It is taken. What an incredible catch by Abhinay Reddy. We were just talking about how he is an amazing fielder, and we just saw a glimpse of his brilliance. What an incredible take.
Bajwa thought it was going to be 6. The moment he left the bat, he didn't account for a flying Reddy. It's an incredible catch. The fact that he got there in the first place. Then the belief and the fact that he hung on to it by shrinking himself beyond imagination. Look at that. He had to calculate where exactly the boundary rope was too. Flying in the air, flinging himself, and then shrinking himself to not be in touch with the boundary rope.
These are moments of brilliance that you need in T20 cricket. We train here in San Diego in this very field every week, practice for special moments like this.
There are catches like these which will lift the whole team up, and that's what it's done. Reddy has taken a catch that he will be talking about for a while. What a catch. There must be a catch of the season. There must be a catch of the season as always. This one's a great contender indeed.
In my eyes, it absolutely is. What an incredible take. I just can't get over it.
Include the fact that the sun was shining right into his eyes. Unbelievable catch. 2 wickets in the over. Nikhil Datta has turned it around. 5 overs gone. 27 for 2. .27 for 2, Seattle Thunderbolts Adnesh Tondale. '23 Minor League Cricket Championship. We haven't been short of action. What a terrific take it was from A.B. Reddy. JD was just telling us moments ago that he's a very special cricketer. He's a very entertaining cricketer as well on the field. And Reddy is posted in the deep for a good throwing arm. But his athleticism is second to none. Adnesh Tondale. Now the Thunderbolts have been jolted twice in the same over. Adnesh is inheriting a good scorecard and a lot of momentum. Starts off well. 1 and a dot.
Yes, very talented cricketer, Adnesh. He's been good so far for the Surf Riders. He's been part of the setup for the third year in a row now. A lot of trust shown in him.
Oh, good ball. And very well played. Shashwat Kohli. The wealth of experience, Ian Chauhan and Shashwat Kohli. They've got to string together a partnership and bring the ship back on the route to 128. That this is the time for the San Diego Surf Riders to really close in. They've created the opening. They've got to carry the momentum. Big swing and a miss. Was that shot required? It's a different story. Ian Chauhan believed that he can get that ball away. Tondale watching the batter till the last moment. He's got good cutters as well.
Absolutely. He's picked up on pace this season, especially. That's something that I've noticed compared to last season. But yes, he's definitely got good change of pace, uses the angles well. He's developed his death bowling skills. So nice to see him grow.
That's Devam for you. Well, not a clean collect, so the single will be offered. Once again, it just brings the point back that it's the youngsters for San Diego Surf Riders who create the game situations. Especially on the field. Greg Hay has anchored so many innings for the Surf Riders. But if you want to make 128 look like 145, then it's the youngsters who've got to throw themselves around in the field.
Absolutely. That's what you need. That's what you need in every team. You want the youngsters to show some desperation in the field.
This should be another. Devam doesn't want anyone near him. This is why it's the third wicket. Seattle Thunderbolts have been jolted again. Pressure back on the men in pink. Tondale strikes.
Important wicket here for Surf Riders. It's very important to get another wicket. Keep applying that pressure after that brilliance by Abhinay Reddy. That ball got really big on Kohli. Attempted pull shot, but just completely miscued there. Got no timing, no power behind it. And straight to Devam again.
Cool, calm and collected. Devam pouches the catch. And it's time for the roar. The San Diego Surf Riders would now believe they've got the Thunderbolts pinned to 30 for 3. Pressure. The catching has been marvelous from San Diego Surf Riders. We thought the fielding was excellent from Thunderbolts themselves. But look at the home team here. Now Datta has got to write a thank you note to AB for this one, who believe that the bird alongside might get a complex because this is what he can do.
Oh, don't you feel like watching that catch again and again? This is what you watch cricket for. Just moments of brilliance.
Excellent indeed. And Marty Kane knew. He was praying. Marty Kane was praying. One moment he was praying AB get bigger and bigger to get the ball. And as soon as he did, he was praying get smaller and smaller. Time for leg spin. And if you're a connoisseur of spin, then you need to watch Vedant Jain. A cricketer who's learnt through hard moments when the batters have come after him. He's slightly short to start with though. Slightly short. Oh, that was a good throw, but was not aimed at Shadley.
Seems like they want to use the spinners from the longer end. Remember, the boundary from this side is much longer, especially the mid-wicket boundary. That's got to be at least 70 yards.
The only man I've seen clear is Sri Krishna Anantaraju. And he cleared it when 1 ball 5 was required.
Yes, who can forget that incredible moment?
Adit wants to change the field. Vedant's allowed him to do so. Fernando in a catching position at short mid-wicket. Not a bad option for Shadley early on. Will guide it and pick up a single. Good thinking from the captain, Shadley. Oh, these are crunch moments. You might look at it as and say 32 for 3. There's a long game ahead, but you have no clue, if you haven't been watching, why this is a crunch moment in the game. Oh, that's a good shot. It will go for 4. He just knew something had to give. Ian Chauhan, he's not looking at the scorecard. He's only looking at the ball.
Yes, short in wide. That ball was just waiting to be hit. And Ian Chauhan is going to say, thank you very much, Vedant Jain.
I thought it was a little risky because the backward point was moved at the edge of the 30-yard circle before this and told not to take a start, but it didn't matter. He timed it so well and placed it so well. 6 runs in the first 3 for Vedant. Make it 7 now. What different can Vedant do apart from pitching it slightly further? He's been on the shorter side ever since this over began.
Yeah, it's definitely got to change his length, especially when he's bowling to bigger boundaries. Can't be afraid to toss the ball up a little bit, bowl slightly fuller, get the batsman to drive. When you're quicker through the air, it's very important to get your length right. Otherwise, you're going to be dispatched square. As we see a ball beat Shadley's bat. This one stayed a touch low.
It's not a bad option at all for Shadley, who's looking to open the face of the bat. He's anyways looking to run it down to third man and pick up a single. Will that change now after that delivery? No, he's trying to do the same. A mixed bag for Vedant Jain. An opportunity created, but 7 conceded. 7 overs gone, 37 for 3. $37 for 3. What an over it was for Adnesh, the first over, picking up a crucial wicket. $37 for 3. Runner ball 9 for Ian Chauhan, who's played a lot of innings where he's bailed his team out of a difficult situation, but that's in the longer format. But all that will add to the experience to tackle this situation against a green bowling lineup as of now if you remove Fernando. Nikhil Datta is extremely experienced too. Ian Chauhan's decided to drop anchor, it seems. The righty-lefty combination, is that why you think Shadow was sent? Or otherwise also it's number 5, so it's Shadow time.
Yeah, well, he's the captain. he's the one sending the batters out there, so he must have decided that it's good to have a lefty out in the middle.
Good delivery. And the fact that he's showing intensity by pouncing on it is great to watch for any youngster.
Yes, what Adnesh has been doing really well is hitting the hard length. And you see from this end, it's not very easy for the batter to get on top of the ball. That's what earned him a wicket earlier when Devam took a pretty easy catch.
Such a well-directed bouncer. You've definitely proved the point that he's increased in pace. He's got the confidence to bowl that bouncer. And it's yielding him wickets. The second run is on. It's a single-handed throw, single-handed pickup. Everything was going right for Hay. But the second run was taken. From the previous minor league to this one, Shadley Vance Holwick as a cricketer has also improved. Just tells you that it doesn't really matter what age you are, you always have the scope of improvement. Shadow in Nepal finished off games and is still considered a hero.
Yeah, incredibly fit is Shadow. That's one thing, especially as a cricketer. It doesn't matter what age you're at. You could be 40, you could be 45. If you're disciplined, if your work ethic is good, you put fitness, you give a lot of importance to fitness, you could keep playing. Because the skill's going to be there. It's not going to evade you. He's probably got 20 years of playing competitive cricket.
Absolutely right. Now the coaching the youngsters is always brimming with energy. That's well controlled from Ian Chauhan. It's the second time he's decided to go that region.
This time a bit of width given by Adnesh. He's been hitting that length. It was a short delivery, but there was room to free his arms. And Ian loves that. We've seen a boundary already in the previous over where Ian hit it over point.
How well controlled was that shot? Not a big follow through, just concentrating on timing.
Yes, very deliberately placed there. Another cut shot, but straight to Marty Kane this time. No run conceded. So decent finish to the over. 45 for 3 at the end of over number 8.
Zooper is the world's most powerful field service management solution to work your way and drive more impact. As the most flexible and customizable app for your field operations, Zooper is field service your way. Learn more at zooper.co.
Five bowlers used so far. Nikhil Datta's got 2 important overs up his sleeve. And Fernando has been saved for the last as well. Marty Kane interestingly bowled just 1 over and refrained from bowling another. Adnesh Thondales completed 2 and Vedant Jain in his first over went for 7. Nikhil Datta, the most experienced as of now in these conditions, has been the most successful as well. Even though that catch is going to be unforgettable. And if there's another column, then that wicket belonged to AB.
Youngster Devam Srivastava being introduced now into the attack. Again, a very conscious decision. Looking at the matchup against Shadley, they've recognized that Shadley is a very important wicket. They want to see if they can attack with an off-spinner.
The off-spinner's got to be very careful when bowling to the right-hander. The end that he's chosen to bowl from will allow deeper boundaries on the leg side.
First game this season for Devam, playing in his home turf.
Slapped away. Width is a bad option. Width is a very bad option. Ian Chauhan will thrive on it.
Yes, he's got to be a touch. He's got to be a touch fuller. We've seen 3 cut shots already by Ian Chauhan. He seems to love that length. Seems to love cutting the ball. And there's a lot of gap. There's a wide gap there between deep extra covers and point.
No chance there for Vedant. Slightly late on this one. He's persisting with a man in catching position on the offside. Greg Hay tends to take a longer start.
Again, use of his wrists by Ian Chauhan. Being able to maneuver the ball to the leg side.
What that boundary does is it allows Shadley to relax a little bit. 50 had come up for the Seattle Thunderbolts. Shadley wants that second, but it's tough. Devam himself was behind it.
Nice to see that from Devam. He wanted to feel that. He didn't want to give an easy second run there. And again, everything matters, especially when you're defending 127. You need that sense of desperation as the fielding side.
Should be taken. Oh, put down. There comes the opportunity. They're going for the run because it might have not touched the rope, is it? Oh, it's hurt him really, really bad though. Marty Kane came to inspect immediately because that's a nation. He's got 2 important overs up his sleeve. If he's hurt himself in the attempt of taking it, which was hit really, really hard, then there goes 2 overs too. Blood is not a good sign. The physio will rush almost immediately. It's paining indeed. And it's been a painful watch. That struck really hard. Ian Chauhan, full-blooded shot. It's going to hurt a little more that it also went for 4.
Yeah, you could see the sense of disappointment in Adnesh. Not only is he hurt from the injury, he's also hurt from the sense of disappointment having dropped that catch.
Ian Chauhan knew immediately he was in trouble because that ball was travelling for sure and travelling right into the hands of Adnesh. It was a running that caused the problem there. He overran, and the fact that the ball dipped and hit him in the palm also caused the injury. It's off the palm and into the boundary rope.
He's not feeling too great there, Adnesh. I wonder if he's hurt his wrist as well, or if it's just his fingers. Is it a split webbing?
It's not looking good though. Yeah, the blood is oozing out. He's not really happy with that. It's a painful watch indeed, but putting his pains behind, would he be able to continue? Seems very unlikely at this stage before the dressing comes on. Luckily, it's the non-bowling arm. That is, if he wishes to continue. Then he can contribute in one way. Don't expect him to stop the ball in his follow-through, but if he gets to ball, it'll be great for his side, and he knows that perhaps that's the feeling that's keeping him on the cricket ground right now. Anybody else with blood oozing, they would have left by now. Intent is a big thing.
Absolutely. You've got to be tough as a cricketer. I'm sure he's feeling hurt, not because of the injury, just because of the drop catch.
It's taken a while for him, and now eventually he's being walked out of the cricket ground. That's how fiercely this game has been played. Adnesh Tondele putting his body on the line. Should have completed that catch. Perhaps that's what is playing in his mind right now. But in the captain's mind, it's the 2 overs, 2 crucial overs of a wicket taker who's going to replace. Struck really hard, no doubt about it. 9 out of 10 times Adnesh would have caught this. But not just he lost his footing there. The ball trickles away for 4. We wish him a speedy recovery. The whole of San Diego Surf Riders, team and supporters, they'll wish him a speedy recovery. Now JD, dressing for Adnesh, who's going to bowl the important overs.
Well, they do have Abhinay Reddy, who can bowl. And as I speak of Abhinay Reddy, it seems like they've brought him on. Greg Hay has brought him on from the other end.
There's never a good time to get hurt, but I'll tell you what, Adnesh was looking in great rhythm.
Yes, a very important bowler for San Diego Surf Riders. Especially if you're defending a low total. You want your best bowlers on the park doing the job for the team. But having said that, Abhinay Reddy had a great spell in the last game. He bowled 4 overs and did a very reasonable job with the ball. And Greg Hay would be hoping that he repeats that performance again. They desperately need him. Will that moment of brilliance on the field impact his bowling positively as well?
Might gain some confidence from that for sure. Adit standing up to the stumps. That's a good delivery. Shadow watches it as Reddy teases the tram line. A young keeper standing up when Shadley is looking to go for the big shot against Abhinay Reddy. There's a story to be told here as well. Oh, beautifully played. He's called for 2 and might get there because Vedant took a little bit of time with that slide.
Yes, I'd be very interested to see Shadow's approach against the 7th bowler here. Will both Shadow and Ian take him on? Will they play him out as another bowler? I think that'll define their chase. This over is going to be very interesting, very important in the context of the game.
Two runs and 2 dot deliveries in this over so far. But he bowled slightly slower. Now it's gone slightly shorter. And Shadley wants Colwick. Any other day would have swiveled. This time checking his shot because just get a feeling that Shadley wants to play the anchor's role here while Ian goes for the big shots. Required rate still a manageable 6.8 on a track which is only a little tricky. If you get yourself in, it responds better. Devam's been posted in the deep. Initially deep backward square, now just in front of square. Only a single. And a single would suffice at this stage as they're rebuilding here, the Thunderbolts. Reddy is bowling good length, but he's proven to be a little innocuous so far.
Yes, he's known for his cutters. You'll notice his wrist come into action.
That's gone through. Very unlucky for AB. And a very painful watch for Adit, as he can see it trickle for 4. It was a good over so far, just 4 of it. But he's given away as many of the last ball.
Very unfortunate. He's been mixing it up well. And this one was pace. Pace on. Just went through the legs of Adit.
9 out of 10 times would have taken it. And I'm very sure that his coach Shakil, who's watching from Hong Kong, would probably text him a thing or two to practice. 62 for 3 at the halfway stage. Marty Kane has decided, no, rather Greg Hay has decided it's going to be Datta. Is this because of the absence of Tondale here, that he is forced to bring out Datta? It's because he knows he's the wicket taker here?
Possibly. Again, a very interesting phase in this inning. 66 required in 10 overs. They need wickets. Just 1 wicket at this stage is going to put a lot of pressure on the Seattle team. Nikhil's taken a couple of wickets already. He's a strike bowler, he's a wicket taker. And that's exactly what they want.
In the Desert Cup in Oman, Nikhil Datta was very, very special with the way he was handled by the captain Saad bin Zafar. Today, when I watch him bowl so fluently in the power play, just tells me how much confidence he draws when playing around the world and learning constantly.
Yes, it does help when you have a spinner as a captain, doesn't it?
And he bowled so well on a track which was absolutely flat on that day. Alamarat usually doesn't give you those flat tracks. That day, flat track for T20. Single. And a single would suffice at this stage. Shadley once called is clearly playing himself in.
Yes, Shadley's doing the hard work. He's recognized the importance of taking your time on this track. We saw that in the first inning as well. Captain Greg Hay taking his time, ensuring that he was the anchor that held the innings together, while Nikhil Datta provided some explosiveness towards the end. It's important that Shadley, who's the captain of his side as well, does a similar job for his team.
Now can he play the captain's knock? Shadow has got 1 good knock under his belt already. Needs to draw confidence from that. In cricket, it's best not to bowl or not to bat when you think you're not your 100% while running in. You're well within your rights to do that. Very cheeky, very, very effective. Sensible, Ian Chauhan.
He was looking for that. He looked for it in the previous delivery as well, but missed out. But this time, executed to perfection.
Absolutely right, JD. Gets into a lovely position, and so early, he allows himself enough time to change his shot if required. It's almost as if the ball's a visitor in San Diego, and he's just shown in the way. That's a beautiful shot. You see what one boundary does in that over. It's a good over only so far. But that one boundary ensures that the required rate's under control for the men in pink.
Yes, that's all they really need. Just 6 runs and over.
And they're taking this game deep. And look at this denomination as well. You almost forgot. 2s can be taken on a ground of this dimension too.
Yes, so good to see. On a pitch like this, running between the wickets, stealing those quick singles, making sure that 1s are converted to 2s and 2s to 3s. All of these runs are going to matter incredibly.
2 men who are not the youngest, mind you, but are very, very fit. 11 overs gone, 71 for 3.
What's up, Doug? What got into you?
At Sunoco, we know how to fuel peak performance. Fuel your best.
Abhinay Reddy might have been told by the captain that you might need to roll your arm over today, but did not realize he might have to finish the quarter of one of the better bowlers in the side, Adnesh Tondale. We'll try and get you news on Adnesh as well, just in case we get any. Oh well, that's gone through! Probably not the bad idea to bowl Reddy at this stage. What has he done? He's picked up Shadley Van Skolbeck with a slow, loopy delivery.
Yes, when it's going your way, isn't it? Abhinay Reddy, after a brilliant catch, now taking probably the most important wicket of the day. That of the captain, Shadley Van Skalwick.
The slower one. Inside edge. Leg stump peg back. Didn't bounce and that didn't help Shadley. But it's the same surface that the opposition played on too. Seattle Thunderbolts lose their captain, 71 for 4. Dilpreet Singh Bajwa, 19 or 20. Got a good start. Prajit was a flash in the pan today. Ian Chauhan's holding this innings together after Shadley Van Skolbeck's dismissal. Shashwat Kohli got a bouncer as brilliant as it can get from Adnesh Tondale. A lot of batting to come. Jagrup Raina usually opens the batting. Remember that. Shiva can strike the ball really cleanly. There's a batting to come. There's some batting to come for sure. Harsh Thakur is a proven batter. Here are 2 batters who love to grind it out. It's important for San Diego Surf Riders to separate these two. Seattle Thunderbolts will believe that Wickets column's just not as effective as it's supposed to be because they bat so deep and they've got the men who understand situations better. They're playing with experience. Surf Riders are playing with exuberance. What will win today?
But game on here, Suhas. It's been a very good over so far. Important wicket, no run given. Pressure's being built on, slowly but steadily by the Surf Riders.
Once that single.
Change of pace.
I really thought it was supposed to be a dot ball. So slowly he started off and he's completed a walk, but it's called a run in our game. Give nothing away for the first 4 deliveries. Just 1 wicket and now that single. That'll put some people at ease. especially everyone who's turned out to support the men in pink, the Seattle Thunderbolts. Harsh Thakur is off the mark. Ian Chauhan has got to assume more responsibility to finish this off because he's the one who's got to start. Reddy has bowled well every time he's bowled slow. 12 overs gone, 73 for 4.
वक्त आ गया है लक्ष्मी बासमती राइस को घर लाने का। लक्ष्मी एक्स्ट्रा लॉन्ग बासमती राइस। इसका हर दाना हो इतना लंबा, पकते हुए महके और प्लेट पे क्या खूब खिले।
हाँ, मेरे घर लाने का।
73 for 4. 55 required in the last 8. Harsh Thakur's the new man in, while Ian Chauhan's been there for 22 deliveries. Vedant Jain gave away 7 in the first over. Can he come closer to picking up a wicket in this one? For that, he does not need to be short. If he's even marginally short, Chauhan will bounce. Craig Hay decides to be at the edge of the 30-yard circle on the offside at extra cover. Chad posted just in front of D point. Almost a sweeper. Now that he moves towards his right. First ball from Vedant. And it's only a single. So many boundary riders. He'll feel more comfortable bowling right now, Vedant Jain. But will he have the confidence to toss the ball up a little more? Because he's got the longer ends to cater to, the longer boundaries to cater to. He can produce a wicket at this stage. Harsh Thakur, who's so sensible and one of the quickest runners between the wickets, will try to nudge the ball and pick up 2. Just like that, will pick up a single on this occasion. Good running between the wickets. Came quickly to the experienced Dion Ryan. And Ian Chauhan had almost completed 45% of the run. It's one thing to run between the wickets so quickly. It's quite another to make your partner understand that you're going to be as quick as it can get.
And that's what it's all about. That's what you practice during the nets.
Very well done. It's a direct hit as well. The direct hit wasn't a necessity, but it's a statement sent to the opposition. Got rid of the ball quickly. That's what happens when you're watching a San Diego Surf Riders game. The youngsters will step up. That's hit hard. That's hit really well. It's a long boundary. 2 added to the tally. Excellent effort in the deep. And Harsh Thakur sometimes can be a good fielder for you. Nikhil Datta. Brilliantly done.
No, good effort by Marty Kane there in stopping the ball. That was hit hard by Chauhan.
Now, the only reason Vedant Jain feels at ease at this stage is because the longer part of the boundary is the leg side. And he's bowling deliveries that will allow the batter naturally to go on the leg side.
Yes, any other field, that was probably a boundary.
San Diego Surf Riders would want to roll back the years and want the Vedant Jain of 2022 on this surface.
And the surface has changed as well, remember, Suhas. The surface last year aided spin bowling quite a bit.
Right.
But this year, not as much.
Is he going to dance down the track? Harsh Thakur usually doesn't. Half-hearted appeal that. But it's a good over. He's kept the boundary ball at bay. 5 runs of the over. 13 overs gone. 78 for 4.
How did a global retail pharmacy increase orders by 100%? How did a multinational bank build a #1 rated digital app? With people who help leading companies transform through technology. Engineer a better future. Discover how at ust.com.
Thirteen overs, 78 for 4.
And they're persisting with Abhinay Reddy. He's been very good. Could be his day. He's going to pull out another rabbit from his magic hat. Seems to be doing that today. Inside edge. Down to short fine leg. Close one there. But I think the batsman reached home safely.
Needs to drag the bat. Could have been a close call. Was a little late to start as well. The non-striker, Harsh Thakur, eventually makes it. Just waiting for the light to stop flashing. Doesn't want any distraction as a keeper. Adit. Very good take, but it's going to be a wide delivery. Very surprised that Adit let the previous one go, because this surface is as close as it can get to the old Kowloon ground that they have. This should be trouble. It's not a clean collect, but doesn't matter. It was a little late to go. Harsh Thakur is walking back to the hut in search of a single that didn't exist.
Confusion again. He's been desperate to get off strike, has Harsh Thakur. We're talking about pulling a rabbit out of his magic hat, and that's exactly what AB is doing. If it's not in the field, it's not in the ball, just putting pressure on the batsman. And Chad Preetsky, the fielder, good, flat, clean throw right to Adit to take the bails off.
This is game on. Thunderbolts lose half their side for 79. Are they digging a hole for themselves?
This game is building up perfectly. Look at that. 48 runs required. 6.4 overs. The run rate's creeping up slowly but steadily. This is turning out to be a pretty close finish. Who's going to hold their composure? Is it going to be the defending champions or the young and dynamic San Diego Surfriders? Wait and watch, folks.
Mehdi Hassan. He's played some gritty knocks for Hyderabad, but that's in the longer format. He's no mug with the bat, that's for sure. Mehdi Hassan. So far, it's been a good over for the Surf Riders. They've picked up a wicket and conceded just two. That's drivable. Flying. Chad cannot stop it. The second run is on. Tried his level best there, ready to deflect it onto the stumps, not to be. The second run was on. Hassan's off the mark. will get that single now. Very sensible, shrewd cricketer, Hassan. Understood that it is kept low a couple of times when Reddy has bowled. Lower back lift. It's very easy to get carried away with T20 cricket and the higher back lifts, isn't it? You have to assess the situation too.
Yes, absolutely. It's not all about fours and sixes.
Adit would be kicking himself for conceding that single.
And we see the true nature of the pitch come out now. The ball staying rather low. The first innings was it held up reasonably well, but it seemed off, as umpire Piyush seems to indicate.
But what a way to end the over. We will try and have another look at it when we come back. 14 overs gone, 84 for 5.
Took that last corner pretty quick.
Sir, I need one hand on the roof, one hand on the pump.
Timeout for Sunoco Go Rewards.
Keep pumping.
With new Sunoco Go rewards, when you fuel, you save because rewards come first.
$84 for 5. The captain's decided to bowl Vedant again. He believes that he is indeed a wicket taker. He's not found his mojo so far, but he can. Someone who comes with a reputation of crucial breakthroughs. Now here is when the captain needs to decide, does he go with a bowler with that reputation, or does he go? Or it's been slightly shorter, and that's not going to help. He's travelled the distance. Ian's had enough. If it's there, he will swing.
That was a hit-me ball, especially when the pressure's built up. You don't want to bowl short with those long boundaries. And to a set batsman like Ian Chauhan, he's been waiting for it, waiting for a shot delivery to cut and pull. Those seem to be his strengths. Vedant Jain's got to learn from that. He's got to come back strong here. This over is very crucial in the context of the game. Good delivery this time by Vedant.
For a moment, I thought he was going to come back for 2. Would have put more pressure on the young Vedant Jain. It's important that he stays unfazed at this stage. 7 runs at the first 2 balls. Now Chad's moved to the cow corner. Hassan's looking leg side. Square leg regions open. Man at point in Greg Hay. Shot cover in place too. He's gently guided. Will get there. Ian Chauhan. Good cricket all around. Look how quickly AB was able to swoop onto that cricket ball.
You see what that 1-6 did is brought down the required run rate from above 7 to below 7. It's 6.53 or 5.5 now. Just shows the importance of big hits. Now they can cruise through the over, and that's exactly what Ian and Mehdi Hassan are doing. Widest delivery. The batsman's pondering and almost questioning the umpire. Why is that not a wide? I think that was just inside the tram line.
Should be taken, it is! It's the second catch in the day for AB, and it's an absolute blinder. Today is decided that one hand's enough to take those magnificent catches. Why bother with two?
Who do you think it is? It is Abhinay Reddy again. Another brilliant catch. One-handed, flying again. That should be his new nickname. Flying AB.
When you carry AB on your back, you better be good as a fielder too. And look at this. Was in no position to play that shot. Leading edge, and he was praying. This is one shot for the photographers. Adit enjoyed it. Every surf rider enjoyed it.
If the first one wasn't enough and the photographers weren't ready, he's just making sure and indicating to the cameraman, he's like, hey, did you get that one?
Really well said. Be the boundary rope or the 30-yard circle. He doesn't like lines. He never lets the ball go past him. Never lets the ball go past them. You can just watch it again and again. This is when the batter knew that he was in trouble. And this is why he was in trouble. One-handed, plucking it out of thin air. AB at his best once again. And this is how you can single-handedly turn the game around. We were talking about an over starting with 6. It finishes with a wicket. And looks like AB never let go of the ball after that. He's got to continue to bowl.
He's got the ball in his hand again. What can he do with the ball?
93 for 6. What a confidence booster it must be for young Vedant Jain as well, who started the over with a huge 6 and a short ball. Completes it with a wicket. Very easily that ball could have gone over and gone for 4.
It's going to go down to the wire, Suhas. You know what it is? I think it's you. Every time you come down to San Diego, we have close finishes.
I don't mind. Every single's being cheered on. Every ball suddenly become an event. That's what one catch can do to you. It's got the fielders buzzing. It's got the belief again going for the San Diego Surf Riders. Abhinay Reddy called in as a bowler who's got to finish the quota of his friend. He's going to finish his own quota. This one almost did a lot of trouble. Well, that almost did what was required. Hit the stumps. The cross-seam deliveries are working.
Yes, he's been mixing it up so cleverly, is AB. It's been tough for the batsman to line him up just because of the changes in pace.
Can't get that single. That's another dot ball. Chad this time was the mountain on the offside. Pressure. Required rate climbs over 7. It's a never-ending batting lineup. Shiva can strike the ball cleanly too. Oh, what a game the youngsters have shown today with the Surf Riders. Single is enough. Seasoned Marty Kane is banished somewhere in the deep. Greg Hay is the one calling the shots. Youngsters providing the breakthroughs. Unbelievable catches being taken. That's minor league cricket for you.
Absolutely. You want the youngsters to step up when the pressure is on. Short delivery this time. Pulled pulled away for 6 runs. What an important hit that is for the Seattle Thunderbolts.
What a way to bring up his half century as well. Ian Chauhan. He's been there through the difficult moments. Now he's holding this innings together. Looks like he's got to provide the finishing touches too. Sitting deep inside the crease, and he's already chosen his area. This time through the offside. Work to do for Marty Kane. A couple of runs added to the tally. Runs required in this over have come by. Required rates again under control. 100 comes up for the Thunderbolts. This game's far from finished.
Yes, Ian Chauhan's managed to make that a reasonable over for Seattle. It began really well. 1.1 and then 6. Such an important 6 there for Ian. The score at the end of 16 overs is 103 for 6.
Marty Kane saving himself for the last. He's got to ball the 17th. Would he be bowling the 19th as well?
Possibly. I think his Nikhil bowled out. The options that Greg Hay would have are Nikhil, Vedant, Marty, possibly for the 19th. 18th and 20th is going to be Guy and Fernando.
That's going to be 4. It's something that he was trying for a while, the previous batter. But Shiva has got it right. He's got it over AB for 4. Marty Kane has delivered a loosener. This is a real loosener on the leg side. That's much better. Been very impressed by Devam's fielding today. He's one of those cricketers who wants the ball to come towards him. Big swing and a miss. Good collect by Adit.
Yes, Devam's improved leaps and bounds this year as far as his fielding is concerned. He was a good bowler last year as well, but fielding is where he's worked really hard on.
Terrific effort. Greg Hay doesn't want the ball to go past him. And it's an effort of this kind that once again sends a statement to the opposition. It's game on.
What a save by the captain. Incredible. Diving to his right, stopped with one hand. That's what you want to see. Desperation.
Doesn't buckle under pressure, Shiva. Picks up a single. That's the importance of a boundary of the first ball. 2 dot balls after that as well, no problem. 3 dot balls, no problem. Required rate is still humble 6.3. Runs given away in this over 5. Can he close it out well? Wants a man at deep backward square. That's hit hard, and that's hit high. Has he taken it? Just about. Dancing in the deep was Nikhil Datta, and this might as well be the most important wicket of the day. Ian Chauhan departs, inches away from getting 6 more.
Who's writing the script here, Suhas? Wow! Up and down and up and down. And up again, as far as the San Diego Surf Riders are concerned.
Cool, calm and collected under pressure. Nikhil Datta, mind you, had to fight the slope as well.
He never breaks a sweat, does Nikhil? I've never seen him sweat.
108 for 7. Seattle Thunderbolts in deep, deep trouble. 20 of 18. Jagrup Rana Don't treat him as a number 9. He will open the batting on good days.
Yes, Suhas, if you just look at the scorecard, it's just 20 runs required of 18 balls. You know, it's relatively easy, you would have to say. But the thing is, it's pressure. Pressure makes you do funny things in cricket.
Dear Narayan had a thing or two to say to Shiva, who shooed him away with a bat.
And it seems to be Nikhil Datta who's going to finish his quota of 4 overs.
So Nikhil bowls the 18th. Marty comes back for the 19th. Who for the 20th? That's another question.
Has to be Gayan. But that would mean Gayan Fernando, who's been Surfriders' best bowler this season, is not going to bowl his full quota of 4 overs.
20 required of 18. 3 wickets in hand. Sensible singles will do the trick. Thunderbolts. I think the buzzword in the Thunderbolts dugout would be sensible singles. That'll do. 2 new batters. Was in the air but put down. Did offer the hand to it. How close was that?
That's got to go down as a half chance. They're never easy, cotton bowls, especially when they hit hard. But when you want to win matches like these, when they go down to the wire, moments like these are so important.
Almost got another. 109 for 8 will read very differently for the Thunderbolts too, because the pressure would be on. Right now the pressure is a little less because it's Jagrup Raina. The left-hander. He's got an easy single option available on the offside, not so much on the leg side. 19 of 19. But he wants the single on the leg side. A flying Greg, but the fielder was a tad bit late.
He did everything right there, Greg Hay. He anticipated that, waited, dived, threw, underarm, desperate, everything. Just couldn't get him run out.
Nikhil Datta is gone for the big shot. This should be taken. Marty Kane's waiting to pouch. Shiva believed he can clear, and he fell short by at least 5 yards. Safest pair of hands. 8 wickets down for 110. Thunderbolts are committing harakiri. Nikhil Datta, the presence of mind to toss it up.
And that's what we've been wanting Vedant to do from the other end. Great presence of mind by Marty Kane. Not waiting on the boundary line, ensuring that he's a few steps in. And this is what we are talking about, Suhas. This is what pressure makes you do.
110 for 8. 2 runs and a wicket. This is what can happen when you take the game close. Take it deep. Nikhil Datta, the mystery spinner, has produced another wicket. 3 for 17 and an incredible catch. Well, to be honest, the Surf Riders, they lost a very important bowler in between. And they've dragged the game so deep. 110 for 8 now, Seattle Thunderbolts. $18 required of 15 deliveries. I think the Thunderbolts should be telling themselves, if you've played the 15 deliveries, you're going to get the 18. And the Surf Riders are not even looking at the runs column. They're only looking at the wickets column at this stage. They don't want to take it down to the 15 deliveries either. They want to take it in 2 good deliveries. The second run's on. And the second run will be cheered. The countdown has begun. 16 required.
They're inching closer, Seattle.
That should do. Another one bites the dust. Seattle Thunderbolts in the danger of being bundled out now. Jagrup Rana is kicking himself at the non-striker's end as he's absolutely helpless. Seattle Thunderbolts. All they required to do was not play the ball up in the air. But Datta beautifully making sure that Rohan just chips it in the air. Chad's not going to miss that one.
Yeah, really soft dismissal there. Pressure getting to him, seems like. It's understandable. He's only 19 or 20 years of age.
I think he offered the shot a little early. Datta has kept it away from his reach. But that was within the reach of Chad. Rohan Persinapalli. Lot to think about as he trudges back to the pavilion. Nama.
Rahul Nama has had an incredible day so far, picking up 3 wickets.
The fans have found the voice as far as the Surf Riders are concerned.
Yes, a lot of people trickling in. Remember, it's the long weekend after the work days. Coming in, cheering for the San Diego Surf Riders as the game is going down to the wire. Nikhil Datta chasing the 5th wicket there. Would have been a special performance by Nikhil Datta had he picked up the 5 wickets. It is already 19 runs he's conceded, taking 4 crucial wickets in his quota of 4 overs. 112 for the loss of 9 wickets after 18 overs. 16 runs required in 2 overs. How close is this match? Whose day is it going to be? Who's going to triumph? Is it Rahul Nama, who's had a pretty special day so far? Or is it going to be Nikhil Datta and Abhinay Reddy, who've pulled out some incredible moments for the Surf Riders?
Oh, what a game of cricket we've had. And what a start to the long weekend. If this game is any template to what is to follow, then I can promise you that it's going to be quite a weekend to remember. Marty Kane, who's been brilliant. Jagrup Rana, someone who's not used to batting in a way where he does have to worry about the wickets. I don't think it's in my memory he's ever batted with a tail ender.
Yeah, I remember him opening the batting.
That's all we've seen him do.
And he's a free-flowing batsman. So this situation isn't ideal for Jagrup.
16.
But it's just a matter of 3 boundaries, isn't it, Suhas? Anything can happen. Cricket is an incredibly funny game.
The fact that he's a left-hander, he might look towards the leg side, which is the shorter side. A single is taken. He trusts Nama's prowess with the bat.
Yes, surprised to see him take that single, Suhas.
It's not like he wants to score all the runs by himself. He believes Nama can bat. Now, we've seen Nama ball. We've seen Nama ball many a time in India as well, but is batting his strongest suit? Not so much. Can he surprise us all?
And a left-handed batter, Jagrup, against a left-arm spinner, Marty Kane. That was the matchup that you would want if you're the Seattle side.
Excellent point, especially with the shorter boundary being the leg side one for him.
Yes.
No slip in place. That just suggests that he wants to take the game deep here. Marty Kane. I thought he would put the full stop. He would want to put a full stop to this game. Bring a slip in. Was very, very close. 2 dot balls. More pressure for Rana. Sometimes you feel the pressure more when your partner plays the dot balls than yourself. Will get that single. And in fact might get more. Jagrup wants the second. Throw at the striker's end. Nama makes it.
Yes, absolutely. You feel the pressure from the non-striker's end. You feel more pressure if you're watching the game from the outside as a spectator. Or if you're the commentator sometimes.
That's new too, isn't it? Oh, that's gone through. It's squeezed between the fielders. And it will go for 4. It's a very welcome boundary. Runs required now. That's going to be in single digit. Game on.
I think it's not the end of the script, Suhas. So I think we are pushing for the game to end in the last over. It might be another last ball thriller. Every time you come here, Suhas, we end up having these thrilling contests. Do we have another one on the cards? Short and wide. Another cut shot straight to the fielder this time. But a tight single has been stolen.
Nama has done what was asked of him. He's produced a boundary. He's picked up a single. He's picked up 2. He scored 7 runs in Marty Kane's over.
And he's kept strike for the last over.
That win defies Jagrup's decision as well to have taken a single first ball. 120 for 9. 8 required of the last over. What a game. Fernando, it's going to be. Fernando's going to provide pace. Greg Hayes also got to be worried about the outside edges now. He's got to set a field for the outside edges too. Oh, what a game of cricket this is. Cushion for Fernando, 7. Jagrup Rana. He's given a word of advice to Nama, but Nama's produced more runs.
Absolutely. What an incredible game. And it's all going to come down to this last over. 6 balls from Gayan Fernando are going to define this match. Gayan's been the best bowler for Surf Riders. Can he do the job? Can he pick up this all-important wicket?
Gayan Fernando. He's gone wicketless. He's not going to bowl his entire quota as well. That's because the spinners were doing the trick today. But he's got to deliver. He started with a cross-seam delivery. And that yields him well. It's a single. It's up to Jagrup. Seven required of 5 balls.
And Gayan's been really good this season with his death bowling. He's picked up a lot of his wickets at the death, bowling pinpoint Yorkers. What is he going to resort to? I'm very interested to see if he's going to go full Yorker length or he's going to hit the deck and expect the pitch to misbehave and stay low.
Might be. That could be a great ploy. I'm very interested in seeing what Greg Hay wants to offer in terms of a field for Gayan. He's offered himself at the catching position on the offside. It's almost a short cover once he takes the start. Priceless. Absolutely priceless. A couple of appeals as well. Pressure on Jagrup Rana.
Yes, interesting field here as well. He's taken long off inside the circle into mid-off, put third man back, and has deep square leg, which is a bit unconventional. That tells me that he's not going to go full and is going to hit that length.
The single's not there. Good work by Adit, who was expecting a slower throw from Greg, who doesn't get carried away by the situation. Another priceless dot delivery. 7 of 3. Jagroop's got to find the boundary. Would he try to be cheeky in the process? Because if he fails, then the game's over.
So much pressure on Jagroop, Raina. You got to feel for him. 3 balls, 7 runs.
And
he goes for a big one! It's going straight to Marty Kane's hands! What an incredible moment! San Diego Surfriders get their first win! Marty Kane, look at him, pumped up!
The win was delayed, but it wasn't denied. They've eked out a win from the jaws of defeat here. The Surf Riders, I tell you. It looked a little below par, this score, but they've made 128 look to be a winning total. And eventually clinch victory by a margin of 6 runs. What a victory it is. The Canningside Park will never disappoint you. Another thrilling contest indeed. And this is how it finished. Jagroop, he believed he can clear the ropes, chose to go the longer way. Marty Kane was under it. Under pressure, pouches it to perfection. And that shall seal the deal. That shall seal the deal. The Surf Riders have picked up their first win and they start to take on the points table. It's a 6-run win, but it's going to yield a lot of confidence indeed for this young side who've produced magic on their home turf against a side which is brimming with experience.
Folks, what a match we've had. Wherever you're watching from, West Coast, East Coast, in the US, in India, around the world, this is what you want. A match going down to the wire. Incredible performances, special moments in the field. Special mention to guys like Abhinay Reddy, Nikhil Datta, having moments of brilliance on the field. What more do you want from a game of cricket?
What a game indeed. We promised you nail biters, and what a start it's been to the long weekend. The San Diego Surf Riders triumphing by 6 runs. Triumphant. What a game. And this is how the batting panned out for the Seattle Thunderbolts. 128 suddenly became a distant. Dilpreet Singh Bajwa's 19 was great to watch while it lasted. Prajit didn't last much. Ian Chauhan's 53 is a standout performance. While he was there, it looked like it's one-way traffic. Shashwat got back early. Shadley got a scooting delivery. Didn't do much with it. Harsh Thakur departed after a miscommunication. Mehdi Hassan's wicket as well was incredible catch by Reddy that sent him back. Shiva, a brain fade moment as he went for the longer boundary to score those 6 runs. Jagroop Raina went for a similar shot and got out to a similar man. In fact, the same one, Marty Kane. Rohan's got to rethink that shot as well. And Rahul Nama was left stranded after scoring 8 of 7 at the non-striker's end. In the end, it's not the set batter who got them home, but it was the last man who got them closer. Oh, what a script it was for the Seattle Thunderbolts. I really wish there's another column that can tell you how incredible the catches were from San Diego Surf Riders. Nikhil Datta finishes with 4. His partners provide 1 apiece, except for Devam, who was good enough with catching. Abhinay Reddy picks up a wicket and 2 incredible catches. Vedant Jain finally picks up a wicket. Adnesh could only bowl 2. He's nursing an injury, but he went back after picking up an important breakthrough. Was Marty Kane, who picked up a wicket too as well. And Gayan Fernando finally is amongst the wickets column. But what a game it is. San Diego Surfriders bowling out a team like Seattle Thunderbolts while they're trying to chase a below par total. .128 was not going to be easy, but DP made it look so simple when it started. Easing into those drives. That shot that he played straight down the ground was just a treat to watch. This was Prajit when room was on offer. Despite a flurry of boundaries at the beginning, it's this shot that stands out for me. Just a chip. And this was for the photographers, the straight shot. This is something that he'll remember for a while. But once DP went back to the hut, thanks to Nikhil Datta, who first picked up Prajit, a terrific catch by Devam. And that was the first of these two catches that he took. The second was considerably simple. Nikhil Datta drew first blood. This is what people will remember this game for. AB doing everything that a human can do to try and keep that ball within the area of play and also complete the catch. Unbelievable.
Yes, this was the moment of the game for me. This is what changed it for San Diego Surfriders. What an incredible catch. People who witnessed it live will remember it forever. As we see Adnesh get an important wicket. Devam taking his second catch.
And this is why the Surfriders will remember this game. At this point, they thought, well, Tundale is picking up wickets. He's got 2 more overs to bowl. Suddenly, he was ruled out of the game because of an injury. Vedant was on the shorter side. He was leaking runs every time he bowled short. Adit tried his level best to explain to Vedant as well. As the boundaries the change. This is when Tondale had to leave the park. Not only did it go for 4, a key bowler was not going to take part in the game. More frustration for San Diego Surfriders. As they went through all this, they believed that every cloud has a silver lining. And that came eventually. Shally got one that didn't bounce as much. And this might as well be another turning point in the game.
Yes, AB with another special performance. A catch, an important wicket of the captain. Producing a run out as well. Chad Britsky on the field. Another moment of brilliance. Vedant, short delivery, gets punished for 6 runs.
And this is when he had to decide. And he believed that he can bowl better. Incredible catch from Superman AB. A second of his day. Once again injecting belief in the side, Surfriders. Ian Chauhan was splendid with his half century. He got there with a stylish stroke of that kind. And this changed everything. Cool, calm and collected in a crunch situation was Nikhil Datta. Marty Kane picked up the wicket and Nikhil Datta did his job then. Shiva thought he's got the distance. Marty Kane said, no, let me return the favor, Nikhil. Let me take the catch while you bowl. Rohan Posanapalli felt for that ball and then fell. Soft dismissal. Nama believed he can get them there. That was a very good shot indeed that he got for 4. Converted a single into 2. Then took a single at a crucial time. Jagrup Rana, who lost patience. and believe that he can score a 6 and finish this game. But Marty Kane in the deep had other ideas. The final wicket fell, and Marty Kane's expressions tell you how important this game is, how important this win is, to make the side believe that this is a champion side too, if you can beat the reigning champions.
Finishing scenes there, incredible moments. San Diego Surf Riders picking up their first win, and what a win it was indeed.
127 for 7, the San Diego Surf Riders, after being asked to bat first. 52 or 54 for Greg Hay, who hung around for a long time. Nikhil Dutta's 22 in the end added impetus as Tondele's 11 finished with a 6, and you could see that's the difference of the game at the end of the day. Seattle Thunderbolts, their reply with the bat in hand was a little so-so, as Ian's 53 or 35 is the only thing to talk about. Bajwa was looking good initially, but Shadley's 10 or 17s featuring in there tells you there was a collapse afterwards. Nikhil Dutta finishes with an unbelievable 19 for 4, and he'd be mighty proud with his effort and the 2 catches. Tondale picked up a wicket too, and San Diego Surf Riders win by 6 runs. It's a win that they'll savor for a long time, as it's the first of the season for them in a while. All in all, a great game of cricket. I'm Suhas Vedam, joined by JD. It was a pleasure joining you on comms.